join.
Yes.
Yeah, because I suspect there's more thermal typewriter collectors than it would be readily apparent, because it's all about the manual typewriters.
Right.
But I bet there's quite a few people that have at least one thermal in their collection.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think also as more communities open up from the pandemic, you're going to see the public kind of coffee shop typing to be a little more important on people's radar, and those kind of quiet typewriters are really ideally suited for that usage mode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. I was just getting us to go live, so we are now live on YouTube. And just as a reminder, our typing prompt today is, what is it? If my typewriter had a superpower, it would be ... Oh yeah, it's right there on the screen too. Yeah. So John, since it's been so long since you've been on, you have to have more typewriters, right? Oh, I think you might be frozen again.
Oh,
okay, there you go.
am I?
Yeah,
maybe I'll have to go indoors because this here laptop, I guess, is not picking up the signal that well.
You're good right now, but if you do want to move in inside, that's fine too. It's up to you.
I'm going to switch indoors.
Yeah,
I'll be a minute.
So. All right, very cool. And we have Ted joining us. Yeah, so I was actually pretty excited about this typing prompt. So once more people are on, we can go over it. And then I asked people in the Facebook groups to actually post their responses just in the comments to the post, and I'll be sharing some of those. There's already some good ones, mostly from the modern typewriter group. So yeah, very cool.
Hello.
Hi, Ted. How are you?
Did I cause some echo earlier?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Nope.
Unless you wanted echo.
I know.
I was attempting to tame the echo.
We don't have video though.
No video?
No.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, we just have your name.
There we go.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
I see. I've just gotten up, so
okay.
I'm sorry for being late.
No, we're actually just getting started. So
I apologize.
It seems like
so. Ted, how's the weather out there?
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah.
It is very hot. I was recording a response to a nice letter that I got from Mr. Poor Typist over here.
Excellent.
Outside, so like you get some ambient traffic sounds and stuff along with my typing and return letter, whatever. What do you say? Recording.
Yeah.
And, it was hot. I had to stay out there for what? I think those tapes are 15 minutes aside or 20 minutes aside, something like that.
Something like that.
Now you have a micro cassette to listen to it again if I send it back to you, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'll keep the one that you sent me.
Yes, I actually got that one specifically for you. So.
Oh, wonderful. That was very considerate. So now I have a micro cassette recorder to send audio letters to Joe.
Yes.
So that, he can hear them on his micro cassette.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have
I have a number of those.
We'll have the micro cassette revolution going.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a fun little format actually. So
it was. I actually had a microphone that worked really well with it, and so I don't have the motor noise.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty full featured. I was impressed with it.
Yeah. Excellent.
And the other contents of the box.
I
Oh,
went kind
those
of
are-
crazy.
God, those internet gift boxes from Ted are always fun. He has the
Oh
coolest
yeah, but
stuff.
this one I got from Greg, it had a whole bunch of stuff packed in it. He was working on it for a while.
Yeah, literally months.
Yeah.
Because there was one of our live sessions months ago where I think Joe had suggested sending you a microcassette,
Mm-hmm.
and you mentioned, well, I don't have a way to play it. I was
That's
like,
true.
aha.
I didn't. And now I do.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I have my friend Mitch back in Ohio is a microcassette enthusiast, and
Mhm.
he's sent me several microcassette machines, and he's pretty good at fixing them. Also, those are kind of intricate.
Oh yeah,
I
they're
bet.
tiny. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah.
Busting
All right, we
open
have
a
John
mold
back.
here.
What's that?
I'm busting open a mold for Hermes
Ooh.
baby feet.
Let's take a look at that.
Baby feet.
Baby feet. And but I was only able to get one original with the ridges on the bottom, and it's rock hard, but anyway, is it still in shape? So I was able to make a copy of that.
Ah.
And then I've got a Steve Dade version that it's a little thicker and it doesn't have the ridges on the bottom, but I've only got one of each, so I have to make 4 molds in order to make the proper number of feet.
Yeah.
So this is mold number 1.
So you have a ways to go.
I have a ways to go.
Excellent.
Hi.
So John, I was asking you if you had any new typewriters.
Yeah, I picked up one locally here, and it's interesting because it's not a common brand. It's a common build, but not a common brand name.
Okay.
And it's got the nice leather case here with the zipper on it, which is I was able to clean it up pretty well with just a shoe brush. And this is it here.
Carlton.
Carlton.
Wow, that was quick.
I saw his blog post, so.
Yes.
Okay.
This has the coolest feature of any typewriter that I've had, and I'll show you. Now, let's say I want to get into it to do some work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just rip the top off.
Whoa.
Pull the whole chassis out like that. No tools.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awfully cool.
That's how typewriters should be made.
Yeah. So
is that a brother? Made by brother?
No, I believe it's a Hermes baby.
The Hermes
okay.
baby. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mid to late 60s. Now I don't know if all of them were like that or what. I don't know anything about them.
Well, that was built by the Italian company. Was it Sim or IMC?
Oh, I don't know. There's Carlton is the only name on it besides made in Italy.
Yeah, so it was made by Sim, who made the clones of the Hermes babies throughout the 70s, 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just one of the different formats they came in, and they're supposed to be pretty good. So
it is. It types really nice. Feels a lot like the little brother charger that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's no tabs or anything like that on it. But yeah, it's a nice little typewriter.
Yeah, so a straight up clone of the Hermes baby, so it should be quite good.
Actually, yeah, it feels a lot like the Hermes babies that I had from the 50s, except a lot of plastic.
Marvin's in the loo. Stand by.
That's funny. At least he didn't take us in there with him.
Now he's got a nice waiting screen.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
That's funny. Well, that typewriter is awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've never seen one of those before. Like, how common are they?
Not very common at all, really.
Okay.
They were made for export. The Carlton itself was made for export to various different English-speaking countries, and so it was. Oh, I don't know. It wasn't like they had dealers or anything. They sold them in batches to independent dealers, and so there's not a huge amount of them. But
Okay.
The name
quite
reminds
uncommon.
me of
Yeah.
the name reminds me of there's a brand of cigarettes used to be called
Yeah.
Carlton.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they should have called it Carlito.
Carlito.
Yeah.
Carlito's
Right.
way.
Yeah.
More Italian.
Well, that's
Then,
what
of course,
you could call it, John.
then of course there's the special dance you have to do when you have the Carlton.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers that.
No, but I can imagine.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
character called Carlton on I forget which show.
Bel Air.
But, Fresh Prince, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He has a special dance that
Okay. My youngest brother-in-law would know because he goes through phases where he just like binge watches a whole season of these like 80s sitcoms, 80s 90s sitcoms, and that's one of them that he did.
so he would know.
Yeah. Eric, how are you?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Very good. And actually, since you're on here, I want to show something real quick. I was going to turn it into a joke, but that joke required Joe being outside smoking a cigar. I was going to join him in smoking a cigar.
I have a candy cigar.
I got this really nice cigar in a box. Really nice.
Is it a
And here
pen?
it is.
It looks like a pen. Oh, yes.
The Moon Man Q1.
This thing is wow. It's
Yeah. No kidding.
Don't like
Looks
that
like
on fire.
It looks like a Zeppelin.
Now, is that
Like
comfortable to
Zeppelins?
hold? Because like I've been seeing pictures of those online. I'm just thinking to myself like that can't be comfortable to write with.
No, actually, it's perfect for me because I have small hands, and then I actually need a bigger grip. So it fits my hand perfectly, even unposted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There you go.
That's
So
pretty cool.
it's perfectly. You can post it, but that makes it a little back heavy.
Yeah.
But this is the brown one, and is beautiful. It's slightly transparent, and it looks a lot like honey, so it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
I like the finish on the cap a lot.
Yes,
That's
that
a
is
beautiful pen.
gorgeous. Yeah. So that's the Moon Man Q1. I guess it's their most recent pen, and there's only like I think 3 people that have reviewed it on YouTube. So the reviews are fairly positive.
Yeah.
I haven't used it yet. I just got it, so
That's an eye drop filler, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the problem with having a lot of fountain pens is inking them and cleaning them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I've
a
been
process.
I've been trying to be better about that lately. Not have so many pens inked up.
Yeah, I think I have probably 12 pens inked up, and I really shouldn't have that many.
Yeah, that's what I had. I think I had 14 at one point, and I'm down to 10 right now.
Yeah, in my journal, I make sure to use a different pen every time, so they're getting
Yeah, me too.
used. But even if I did a journal entry every day, that's 12 days.
Yeah.
So the pen is going to sit there unused for 12 days at least. So, yeah.
I just recently got a new fountain pen too. There was the Senator that I showed last week, but then I got another one. So this is Pelican M800. This is one I had been lusting after for a while, and I finally decided to bite the bullet and get it. And
Yeah.
I got it with a medium nib. and it's the smoothest nib I've ever written with in my life. It's so
Wow.
smooth.
Wow. That's excellent. And it looks like a nice hefty pen.
Yeah, I tend to like bigger pens. I've found I don't think I have really big hands, but I don't know. They're just more comfortable for me. I have smaller pens too. Like I've got the Pelican M200, which is a lot smaller.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Marvin, go ahead.
That's the M200 versus the.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Nice. Very cool. What was that, Marvin?
He's having technical difficulties.
Well, his screen says my workhorse is the Brother Deluxe 750 TR. Not exactly the greatest, but it works for now. Excellent. You know, whatever works, that's the important thing.
So I also just got the platen back from the Smith Corona that I sent out to JJ Short.
Ooh,
So
how was
I
that?
got that installed. It's nice, but I'm finding that it still punches through the paper. So I don't know if maybe it's just thicker, like the platen is thicker than it needs, like should be, or what. But
Ted, do you think that would be a ring and cylinder adjustment?
Generally, yes. If you I don't know if you measured the did you mic out the diameter of the platen before you sent it in?
no, and they didn't ask for that. They just asked for the make and model.
Well, they undoubtedly did it the right size, but if you're punching holes through the paper, generally that means it's hitting the type slug is hitting the platen too hard, and that is a ring and cylinder adjustment. And on a Smith Corona, I can't remember exactly how you do that, but it might have to do with the ring banking. But that's kind of usually a difficult job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us, Ted, what ring banking is for the lay people out there.
The ring banking is when you hit the anvil, the type guide. Sometimes there's shims in between that anvil and the segment that it's attached to, and sometimes you can pull those shims out or add shims to change the where it hits on the platen.
Yeah.
And some typewriters do the ring and cylinder that way, and I'm not sure if Smith Corona does, but otherwise it's a matter of moving the carriage or the platen back and forth in order to get that. But what you're trying to do is just make it so that when the type slug ends travel and hits the platen, you're just kissing it basically. You're not slamming into it. And there's various ways to do that adjustment on various machines, but it's kind of a hairy adjustment in most cases. So I don't know if you want to try it.
Yeah. I looked at it for, I think the Royal FPE, the wide carriage one that I had and ended up giving to Bob. And I mean, it sounded doable if you are a handy person.
Yeah, the bigger machines are easier than the portables.
Oh, okay.
They have usually they have screw adjustments for that sort of thing.
That's true. Yeah, it's just a matter of balancing it on each side, right? Yeah.
I did a ring and cylinder adjustment on my Olympia SM3, and that was a little annoying, but it wasn't like, it wasn't awful. But
yeah, that one's on an eccentric, so it's kind of fun because you're always dropping it out of you're dropping your on feet in motion.
Yeah.
When that happens, so
yeah, because it's all on the carriage. That you're making the adjustments. So, and it's a carriage shift machine. So
yeah, well, I don't know if you've done that one, then Smith Coronas probably shouldn't be that bad.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up and see if either me or Joe can look it up in the book before do a race.
yeah.
I probably will lose. race because I'm comfortably reclined here, and breakfast is going to be coming to my
Oh,
left here
you
soon.
had
Oh.
breakfast delivered.
Well, it's going to be French toast, bacon, and a side of eggs. So
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Classic
Joe's out.
Breakfast.
a typewriter breakfast.
Yeah.
I was
think
going to
it-
say on this Groma Calibri I'm typing on, its carriage is pinned, so you can't move it forward or
Yeah.
backwards. So you can't really adjust it on that.
Yeah, well, on that one, you'd probably use the ring banking to do it. I don't know if you got shims in there, but
Well, it looks like the anvil is just a casting that's part of the segment.
okay.
There's no removable plate there with any shims behind it.
Take it the way we give it to you.
That's right. Well, if you needed to make it less hard, you could put some shims on it, makeshift, but you can't make it harder, hitting harder without literally filing down the anvil or grinding it down or milling it down.
That sounds
So-
like fun.
Yeah. Anyway, John, I interrupted you there. What were you going to
Yeah,
say?
go ahead, John.
No, I was thrown off by your description of the breakfast where you put the toast and the bacon and a side of eggs, whereas I would put 3 or 4 eggs as the main course and with the side of toast and the bacon. But
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is like French toast, so it's
Oh,
the
oh,
egg,
yes, yeah.
the
Yeah.
bread is dipped in egg batter.
yeah,
Anyways,
that's true.
It was-
Yeah.
it's just
Sorry,
more-
okay, that makes
and
sense.
it's all drenched in sugary maple syrup, right? So
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
and it's real maple syrup from Canada, by the way, not
Yeah.
this fake corn syrup kind of stuff.
That's funny.
I was always a ketchup person myself.
Oh yeah.
On French
On
toast.
pancakes?
No, not pancakes, French toast.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
here we go.
Interesting.
Oh no,
Interesting.
here we go.
Here we go. Here is the plate
Oh,
of
let me zoom in on that. Let me zoom in. Oh, yummy.
Oh,
and a side dish of scrambled eggs.
Nice.
nice.
Well, we've got
And
the
of course,
coffee.
we're going to get, food all over my shirt here. So we'll have to do something about that. I'm going to have syrup all over my shirt probably before
know,
this is
huh?
all done. Okay. I'm going to eat now. You guys
Excellent. Enjoy.
talks amongst yourselves.
Yes.
Talk amongst ourselves.
Bill, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. Excellent. Good to see you.
Bill,
Good to see everybody.
Yeah. And Kelsey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Back home.
Very
Back
good.
home again after visiting. Yeah. I ended up not getting on last week because we were doing a lot of drywalling and I was the mud tape guy. So
Okay.
yep. Yeah. So missed you guys, but
We
Of
missed you
course.
too.
yeah,
We're one big happy family.
that's right.
We're type pals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow,
So does
4 heaping spoons.
were you wanting to say something? You have your hand raised.
Who has their hand raised?
Marvin does.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Is my sound clear enough? Is it is the volume too high or too low?
It's
No, it
perfect.
sounds good.
Okay, good. Look, this. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
very
can't,
white, very bright.
you can't see this.
No.
Let me find a better camera. Let me join in from my phone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's funny how phones very often have better cameras. Yeah.
Well, it's not funny. They spent a lot of money doing making sure of that,
Yeah.
trying to kill off the camera industry.
I know, huh? Yeah, you have people actually making movies on iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Do not be fooled. That was a very deliberate decision.
yeah. Yeah. Of course, if you stop to think about it, these phones, you know, they cost as much as a very good camera.
Yes, but they also do phones, and they're a web browser, and they
Yeah.
have your financial information, and they track you like a spy.
Yeah.
All these features and more.
As my wife would say, we live in the future.
Mhm.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
they track your kids and your stuff.
Yeah, I heard something in the news that like there was a woman that went to a bar and like she got home and found one of those tracking things in her purse,
Yeah.
like the tile things. That's super creepy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're supposed to not be able to do.
Ooh, that's much better, Marvin.
Oh, there we go. Ooh,
No, this is the problem. Look,
That's like
oh, okay. Double strike.
I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. It's not type slugs. I've cleaned it with alcohol. I've soaked it in alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's type slugs.
Okay, that's a basket shifted brother. And so is it just the one character or is it multiple characters?
No, just that.
Just
Just
the E?
Capital E.
And then it probably needs to be adjusted so that it's what's happening. And Joe just talked about this in a video last night that I watched. He had a particular problem with just a single character, and he basically formed the type bar a little back so that it didn't hit and drag. And what's happening is that it's kind of when it's entering the type guide, it's hitting one side and moving a little as it's hitting the platen. So you get that kind of smudge where it looks like it hits a little lightly and then it hits dark.
Like
A little farther away. Yeah. Well, it's not double striking. It's just that it's when the type bar hits the guide, it's kind of that sloped angle and it hits and just kisses the paper and then it hits again, but it's in a different place. So you get that kind of shadowing.
Yeah.
And if it's just that one character, usually that's a matter of forming that bar so that it's not hitting the type guide anymore.
It can also be exacerbated by if the trip point of the escapement happens really close to when the type bars are hitting the platen, then one type bar might be a little more sensitive to that because of the problem that Ted described. So you might want to manually move a type bar up and see how close to the platen the type bar gets when it trips the escapement and moves the carriage. And I think it was my Calibri that I had to, I think it was the Q key that was doing that. And that one I ended up having to not only reform the type bar, but I actually put a little piece of gaffer's tape on the anvil right where the Q hits to keep it to dampen the shock of it hitting and bouncing. That was the only way I could solve it for that one.
Yeah, the video I think I was watching last night was the Webster XL 747 one you did back in like 2016.
Yeah.
And so that one was the exclamation point that was doing that. So it seemed to be the same problem both times.
Yes.
And of course that's something, depending on your personal taste, that's something that you could just accept as part of the character of that particular typewriter.
No, it must be perfect.
I know.
I'll tell you.
I know you don't believe that, Ted, because you like how your typewriters have character.
That's true. I do.
So there's a popular YouTube channel. Yeah, there's a popular YouTube channel now. A guy named Van Neistat. He's the brother of Casey Neistat. And he's been blogging for a few months now. And he uses a Corona from the 1930s, one of those flat top ones, to type out his titles to his videos. And they always have shading. I think the tops of the letters are shaded or something. And there's always a little bit of a bouncing, like a double strike. And it bugs me every time I see his titles that I want to write him and say, hey, you need to fix that typewriter.
It's a character.
It's character.
It was kind of funny. There's the YouTube channel Untitled Typewriters. They're one of those sales channels where they're basically just showing the typewriter that they're selling. But she's pretty good because she goes through like all the features and describes it and gives her opinion on it. And I forget what typewriter she was showing. Yeah, it escapes me, but she was talking about it was clear that she was talking about the shading as far as you know, the on feet and motion adjustment, and she didn't realize that that's what it was. And she was saying, I don't know if it's a hard platen or if the something's wrong with the type slugs. And I meant to comment saying that, you know, it's most likely the on feet or motion adjustments. But yeah,
It just needs a new ribbon.
There you go, a new ribbon, yeah, with extra ink on the top. So it
That's right.
that's the perfect way to solve on feet and motion. Oh, excellent. Hi, Natasha. How are you?
I'm okay. How y'all doing?
Good.
I will have a live unboxing. I got an unexpected typewriter today.
Unexpected? I don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I knew I ordered, but I didn't know it. I mean, it hit me early this morning. FedEx said, you know, it's out for delivery. I'm like, what? I thought it was coming XYZ day, you know, so it's here today.
Don't
And
you love it when that happens?
I also have my prompt whenever we're ready. It's
Very good.
bit of a story and stuff. So I'm okay.
Good.
She's ready.
Yeah.
To rock
Hey,
and
has anybody
roll.
had like some terrible shop experience? Like I sent a typewriter to a shop, right? I mean, two shops. The first guy just came on out, admitted, he said, I can't work on this, you know, and gave it back to me. I was great for that, you know what I mean? So then I found another person, and you know, it was from there at a office equipment center, and they let an older guy that's retired work on them, right? So I took the thing over there over a month ago. It was May 4th. I mean, yeah, May 4th. And the thing, you know, he's looking at it every week. I would call him. He's like, I'm about to look at it. I'm about to look at it. I'm about to look at it, you know? And so finally he does look at it, you know, when I'm on the border of getting upset, you know? And so then he says, well, it's locked up. I was like, well, you know, I could have told you that. You know, I'm not long story short. So I finally get him to take it back. So he took it to his house and worked on it. You know, I was like, I didn't like that much, but you know, so he took that to his house and worked on it, brought it back, and they were getting ready to put it in my wagon so I could take it to my car, and the back panel's missing. So he's lost it's a Royal 10, of course. So he lost the back passenger seat. I mean, I always do passengers. The back right panel is missing. So I had to leave it there, y'all. I mean, I feel like one of my babies is missing. That's what I feel like.
That is no bueno.
Yeah. So it's not like, you know, the only way I could get the back panel at this point, because I've scoured eBay, of course, is to buy another Royal 10. And when I do buy them, they work, you know, and I don't want to take them apart, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just had to share that. I'm a little upset.
That is upsetting.
Understandably. Boy. Yeah,
well, in theory, he knows where it's at, right? It's either in the shop or at home.
Yeah.
One way or another. But what gets me mad is you tried to pawn it off on me and you knew it was the back panel was missed. You had to know that.
Yeah.
You had to know that. And I got pictures of what it looked like before I sent it in. I'm not an idiot. You know what I mean? So.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah.
There is they're a business equipment repair place. It's the closest we have to an official typewriter repair shop here in Riverside. Well, technically they're one city over, but it's super close. But then I was asking them about it because they were listed on Richard Polt's list of typewriter repair shops,
Mhm.
and they apparently they only work on IBM's electrics and
That's what they,
the
yeah.
more modern electronic typewriters. So I do actually have very recently got a Canon TypeStar 2, but it needs repair because it's not advancing the platen. So I'm thinking, that's pretty close to, I mean, it's electronic, so I would hope that they would be able to fix it.
Yeah,
So I may just take it in because I got an amazing deal on it. So I think it's worth spending a little money on it to get it working.
They're probably just going to need to find another donor machine for parts.
Yeah.
Is probably, and then you could almost find it yourself and probably fix that yourself.
Yeah. Well, I do want to compare it to the TypeStar 7 because I have a TypeStar 7 that also needs work, but that one I'm not attached to it. Those are more easily found than a TypeStar 2. The TypeStar 2 is pretty rare. So I want to compare that part to, because it's part of the print head assembly. So it could just be a matter of swapping something out. But again, I don't know if between 2 and 7, they changed any of that. So
is the platen not moving, not rolling when it goes to advance the paper?
Yeah. So it's so bizarre. So when it's gonna do the line advance, it moves the print head all the way over, and there's a gear that is supposed to engage with a gear on the side, and it engages. Well, that gear there. I don't know why it's designed this way, but there's a wide part to the gear and a thin part to the gear, and in order for it to advance the platen, it has to reach the thin part of the gear, and it when the print head moves over, it doesn't go far enough to reach that thin gear. So, and I have no idea why they have the wide gear and then the thin gear, because the wide gear, it's not attached to anything. I mean, you could spin it freely and it doesn't move anything. So it's like, why did they make it that way? It's so frustrating. But I think I need to look at some of my working TypeStars and see more like what that process is like. I assume they're all designed that way. I'm just not sure why the print head isn't making it all the way over to get that narrow gear. Yeah.
So the print head is driven by a little draw cable, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure the rail, that metal rod that it rides on, is clean.
Yeah.
Degrease it and put a little light lubricant on it, some light oil. And then what often happens is those little plastic gears, they have a metal hub, or they press onto a metal shaft, and they oftentimes split. So the plastic gear splits, and then when the metal shaft turns, the gear slips. And that's often the failure mode on those things.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they can fix it, because I was actually working on it for 2 hours last night, and I got so frustrated, and that actually inspired my typing prompt for today. Oh man, yeah. I just discovered that, first of all, I don't find the process of repairing things fun. I know, there's a lot of people here even that really enjoy that process of fixing things. Well, I'm not one of them. And then part 2 is I'm not very good at it. So the whole thing is just very frustrating. Oh man. Yeah.
It helped me a lot when I put the 2 Royal 10s together. When one came in and it was working, everything was working except for the shift bar for some reason, right? And for me, that's like, okay, let's do some homework. I turned them both over, a working one, completely working one, and I turned over the one that was acting weird. And I noticed that whoever worked with it before, they reversed the screws. Like the screws were reversed. They were in the wrong places. And I was like, not screws. I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. The springs. The springs were reversed.
Okay.
Like they were, and I was like, okay, so I need to take this spring and put it here. Then another side, something else didn't work, and I noticed that the spring was totally missing. So then I had to, thank goodness, I already had like a bunch of parts from prior, from eBay, just from buying parts. And I had the perfect spring, and I stuck it in there, and it's perfect. I was like, and then of course the trip adjustment screw was another popular thing that went wrong on some of them. So thanks to the Bible, that helped a lot. Even though my machine's older than the ones he puts in there, it still helps to read it. So thank you, Monk.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us on our journey of fixing typewriters.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. It's just when you get to that carriage, I'm like, okay, I gotta let that go for a second. For a second.
And by the way, I do have to say, even though I'm horrible at doing repairs and basically prefer not to do it, that's not going to keep me from buying the repair Bibles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's good information, and I still need to order the Royalite one.
I know, because nobody's bought it yet. I'm sad.
Oh no! Yeah, I don't know why I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to buy it. Yes. In fact, I'll write a note right now.
That's okay. It usually takes a while before when I release one, before anybody actually decides to get it. So.
Yeah.
I need to take a picture of it and put it on my Instagram, because every time I put up the Bible, somebody doesn't know anything about it. So next thing you know, they're like, oh, I'm going to order it. And they're typewriter enthusiasts, so they don't know anything. So I'm like, okay, so I need to take a picture of your Royalite and put it on your Royalite book and put it on, and then let them, oh, okay, I didn't know about that. And they probably got Royalites Gazoo. I don't know.
Gazoo, yeah.
Right
out the gazoo.
Out the wazoo, I guess I meant to say.
Yeah, there you go. It's actually interesting. I think with a lot of the newer typewriter people, I think their first go-to place, when I was getting started in typewriters, my go-to places were YouTube and Google.
Mm-hmm.
I would search for information that way. So obviously, you stumble upon Joe's videos and the typewriter database, of course. But I think a lot of the newer people, I think their first thought is, oh, I'll join a typewriter group on Facebook, or I'll post on Instagram.
Right.
So, and I think those two ways, you're not easily going to run into Joe's videos or the typewriter database. So I think that could be part of it. But that's why we need to get out there and preach the gospel.
Yay, preach it.
Yeah. Hi, Diane. How are you?
I'm fine, Greg. How are you?
Good. Where are all the cats? I don't see a single cat.
Well, there's one here on the floor. He's on this side of the desk here.
Okay.
That's a good place for him.
I know, right? But that's not going to last. You know that.
I have a lot of stuff on my desk today. I have, a letter in progress, but it's been chewed.
Oh my goodness.
In a disconnected carriage.
Well, yeah, but that's normal. It's Smith Premier too, so.
Okay, yeah, it just pops right out, right?
But yeah, you can do this on these machines.
Wow.
I see kitty teeth marks.
Yes, I do too. I'm not a fan of that, but I let it sit here all night, and that's kind of what happened. And it probably wasn't this one. I'm not sure. I have an idea of who it might be, but oh well.
That's funny.
It's kind of like when the vet says, well, are they using the litter box? Well, I guess. I don't have a camera that just points at the litter boxes so I know who's in and out. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
That would be a bit gross, litter box TV.
I think I actually have some Letterbox TV.
Oh boy.
Well, you know, suburban nature studies.
Uh,
You got to set up time lapse cameras and see what the animals are doing.
yeah. Very good. And Diane, so you were showing us the removable platen, but earlier John was showing us a typewriter that you can take the whole chassis of the typewriter out of the body. So
tools.
Yeah, you just
I missed that. Sorry.
You can watch it again later.
I can, yeah.
Let's see. Oh.
Yeah, yesterday I was trying to make a video, and I seems I have several clips, but I haven't tried to do anything with it yet. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, trying to change a ribbon. And then I was cleaning type yesterday. I only got through the top half of the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Because whenever I went to type, it's like, well, I noticed the type is in need of a deep clean, which I actually typed on this letter. It's like, yeah, I looked at the rubber, and I don't know that you can actually see the feed roller there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in need of some serious
Oh
replacement.
yeah. Looks like the cats got to it.
No, it was like that. It was like that
Okay.
before. They had nothing to do with that. That's
Okay. For once they're innocent.
age. That one is 126 years old.
Wow.
So Diane, if you had more than one carriage for that machine, you could have multiple pieces of writing in progress.
Yes,
thread it
you
in
could.
and just swap them out.
Yeah, in fact, one of the ads I saw on eBay that that they have for Smith Premieres, they show somebody holding this, and it's like, oh, this is the only one that you can do this with, and it's like, if your boss needs to see something, you can show it to him.
Because swapping carriages is so much easier than swapping paper.
Well,
you
yeah.
don't want to lose your place.
This is true. Unfortunately, you would have to swap them between the same model, because I was going to try and use a different model one on here yesterday to improve the typing quality or feel is what I was going for. But the Smith Premier 4 carriage is too long. So I have another two, but it's in no better shape than this one. So it's still, I have not cleaned it or done anything with it. It's in fact on the bottom shelf. So
back in the day in the classroom or the workplace, somebody could be fooling around in their personal stuff and then see their boss or their teacher come by, switch in their what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It might be a little more obvious than switching tabs on a browser or something.
Yeah. Switching windows in the computer today.
That's funny.
Or passing the plate into each other, passing notes across the class.
Oh boy. Oh man.
John like to
prompt as we speak.
Are you showing us there something, Marvin?
No, just testing.
Oh, okay.
Just in case I wanted to show you something peculiar.
Okay. Excellent.
Just on another topic, sliding from the main topic. Why do you like typewriters? I mean, do you use it for work or do you use it just for fun?
an excellent question. I personally, I just like using them. I like the physical process of using them. I mostly use it for letter writing and blog posts. And I do some writing of mostly poetry and occasionally a short essay on typewriters, but mostly for letter writing and blog posts. Anyone else?
I use it for my writings. I actually am working on one. What gets me is the stationery. Like I have, for example, I have stationery that has a lighthouse on it. So I just looked at the lighthouse and said, what if I made a story about a man in a lighthouse and create a mystery? You know, so I chose to type. First I wrote it, you know, so I wouldn't waste so much stationery. Then that inspires me to go and type up the story on the stationery. So I'm into typing up my fiction stories on typing that, and plus my letters that I type, the pen pal letters, I use it for that. But I really plan to use each one. See, it seems like each one I have, which I have up to 19 functioning ones. Each one, when I get to it, inspires me to write something different. Like you know, so it's for my writing basically.
Excellent. Anyone else?
Well, I use mine for blog posts and just general screwing around, and I like to work on them, and I like to modify them. I like to come up with ways to replace parts on them. You know, it's just like a big puzzle that is actually useful. So instead of just sitting on your table mocking you with its incompleteness.
Yeah, I just like the typewriters for how they inspire me to write. Just it's a completely different feel than, you know, if you were to just write in a Word document on a computer. It seems like it almost activates a different part of your brain in a way. Like the words come out easier, I find, because I'm actually inspired to write. Whereas, you know, if I didn't have typewriters as a tool, I probably wouldn't write as much, because I found that before I actually got into typewriters, I really wasn't, you know, that big into writing, but I kind of discovered a love of writing when I discovered typewriters. So, and I use them mostly for writing letters too, just pen pal letters, journal entries. Sometimes I'll do like a sort of like a personal essay. Oh yeah, awesome.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Of course. I look forward to a reply.
Oh, I already sent it. I already did.
Oh, you did?
It
Awesome. I haven't gotten it yet.
I'm disappointed it hasn't come yet, but you know how USPS is.
Yeah.
Always reliable, very quick.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So I was going to answer the question of why typewriters, and I guess I have a lot of the same reasons. I do write letters, pen pals with typewriters, postcards, but I like to write short stories, blog articles, just personal journal writings, kind of essays or whatever, the things I'm interested in. But it also kind of dovetails back into the typing prompt for today, I think, which is, you know, if my typewriter had a superpower, what would it be? And so I wrote, if my typewriter had superpowers, it would be the ability to channel just the right thoughts into my head as I typed, with just the most subtle kind of suggestions, almost subconscious, so as to make me feel as if I'd thought those thoughts myself. It would function as a kind of silent helper, whispering in my ear subconscious hints that serve to direct the flow of words. But now that I think about it, that is the very exact thing that they do. So my typewriters do have superpowers.
That's exactly correct.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Excellent.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
actually have a an additional usage in my case. Like most here, I write a lot of letters with my typewriters. I also create my blog posts with typewriters. I do a lot of stream of consciousness type typing late at night when I'm unable to sleep at times. That kind of helps during those times when I'm just not able to sleep. But lately, I found that typing is really good for me in the case of dealing with depression and anxiety. If anyone else here has dealt with either of those things, you'll know, if you've been through therapy, you'll know that they've talked about you don't want to spend your time ruminating on, what could go wrong or what you've done wrong or any of those things. And one of the beauties of the actual act of typing is it forces you to be in the here and now. And that's really therapeutic. And so my wife and I were out of town recently, and I didn't take a typewriter with me. We were staying in a hotel, and I just haven't got to the point where I feel comfortable with, clacking away in a room with someone next door. But for those days that we were away, I found myself a few times really wishing that I had my typewriter with me, not because, I needed to write to someone or anything in particular, but like I say, just the actual act of typing itself is a beautiful
Centering,
thing, yeah. And so that's where, I realized that for me, typing in and of itself has just become like a part of my daily routine. And I actually just submitted something to One Type Page yesterday about this. So it was a very timely question.
Excellent.
Cool.
I find that sometimes, like, too, when you feel overwhelmed or depressed or anxious, and you have like all those thoughts, and like you said, the whole tendency to ruminate. Sometimes I find just typing those thoughts down helps me to just kind of get them out of my head, so that I don't have to think about them anymore. Like, it's just kind of like it like allows me to let go of those thoughts. So.
Yeah, that's very much the same for me. It's like I just feel the urge to type whenever I'm thinking something I want to sort through, and it helps you organize your thoughts, and it's kind of, I mean, it's not a therapist, but it's kind of therapeutic.
Yeah.
And it's changed my life, really.
Wow. Yeah. I think it does just like if our minds are in, a bad place or spiraling thoughts or that sort of thing, and you have to focus on typing, I think it's narrowing or just
centers your chi.
Yeah.
It grounds you.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Of course, there's a good question. A corollary is why wouldn't keyboarding on a computer do the same thing? And it probably does have some of the same effects, but perhaps the additional effort required to operate a manual typewriter, there's probably something about that focuses your attention on the technique of the fingers that helps to remove the distraction. Maybe it's a Zen thing, the Zen archer, the way they have to pull the bow back kind of thing. Maybe that's part of it, is the effort and the technique, the concentration required to type well focuses you in a different place of mind.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the case.
Feedback.
Yeah, it's the visceral nature of a typewriter that I don't get with a computer keyboard, you know. So it's definitely that, you know, in my case, that's exactly why I mentioned the act of typing, not just you know, writing or keyboarding or anything else, but yeah, it's something that only a you know, a typewriter seems to offer, in my case at least.
Yeah. See,
And it sounds like
before I
others. Yeah.
bought a typewriter, I actually bought this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Something that's like a typewriter. You know, I thought that would do it before I bought the typewriter, but it didn't.
Wow.
Because the keys are too easy. You
Uh-huh.
know, also, and it was still like typing with a regular computer keyboard. So I like the idea of typing, you know, the feel of a typewriter as well. Like you guys were saying, it's something you get to hear that tap, tap, tap. And then, you know, with my work, with it being vintage as well, that encourages the vintage mentality of my work and you know, what I like to do. And also mentioning depression, you know, I have that issue as well with anxiety that just popped up last year during COVID. And I never knew I had that hiding in there. But it was when COVID came in. So I thought I was having a heart attack. But anyway, long story short, 2 people close to me died of COVID in 2 months, January and February. So my daughter's father was one of them. So in February, that's when, you know, after that, it seemed like that something kicked in again. You know, I tried typewriters before, but it seemed like something kicked in, like I needed something also, you know. And you know, of course I said I tried the keyboard didn't do it. Then I was like, you know, I'm going to do this, and I bought the typewriter and started doing my stories that way, and it kind of helped out, you know, therapeutically, like he had mentioned. So it you know, that's another reason too for it. I just don't talk about it much because it's emotional, but it seemed like after that happened, that's when the desire to type, the desire, like it was an escape, I guess, an escape, and I really needed that, and it still works today. So.
Wow. These are amazing machines.
Yeah.
It's more to them than you think. I mean, you look at them and think, oh, some people don't get it. Like my significant other doesn't get it. Again, he'll look at it and say, that's just a noisy laptop. You know, he don't care for them. I mean, the only thing he sees in them is repainting them, which we're going to look into doing. He wants to go into painting them and designing them. Ooh. But that's all he, you know, as far as anything else, he don't understand the use of them at all. So
take what you can get.
Yeah, no, I'm good with him doing that. He just woke up one morning and said, we're going to design typewriters. And I said, okay.
Nice.
So we'll see. We're working on that. The typewriter that's back in here now is our first experiment that we're going to start working on. So yeah.
Cool.
The new one that we're getting ready to unbox, but I'll wait on that.
Yes.
Well, I do think that's becoming in the typewriter world, becoming a big business is repainting typewriters.
Well, cottage business anyway. They seem to be doing well because they're not stopping. So
yeah, exactly.
I assume they're selling those machines.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that because you know, it offers more opportunities for people to express their creativity and and you know. Sprucing up a machine.
Yeah. He wants me to sell some so we can buy others. And I'm like, no, we'll just have to buy.
See, that's a tough part. I've never gotten the hang of selling them. I like to bring them in and I like to fix them up, but I hate selling them.
I can't release. Yeah, it's like it's a problem. I can release one, and I keep saying it's that little Sears one. But other than that, I can't release them.
It's like selling your children into slavery.
The only way I've ever been able to do it is to just basically take a carload of them over to Bill Wall at the typewriter shop and just give them to him and say, you know, sell these and give me whatever
you don't have to watch.
Yeah. So I don't have to watch. I don't have to set a price on them. I don't have
That's
to
a good one.
Think about it. And he just deals with it. And you know, eventually I might get a 20 or, you know, a couple bucks back. And, you know, it suits me because I just hate selling. I hate selling the
I don't want to do it. He don't understand that. He said, that's what a true business person does, Tasha. You gotta
It's
sell them.
true.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, dude, I mean, we'll just buy them and print them up and resell them, so I won't get no heart toward them. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm getting them purely for resale.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, I said that's how we gonna do it.
Yeah.
The one and only typewriter I've ever sold, I wish I hadn't.
There you go.
And it wasn't anything particularly colorful. It was a Royal Futura 800. It was one of the gray ones, but it was one of
Mhm.
these. It had an elite typeface that I didn't really realize until I was getting ready to take it over to the person that had bought it. And actually, I think I'd taken 2 or 3 others hoping that they would change their mind. But they did not. Yeah, I was kind of bummed about that, but it is what it is. And oh well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite typewriters is the Futura 800, and I especially like that it has, as far as a normal typeface, it has one of the more interesting ones. I've mentioned it before. It has the E that looks like it's kind of rolled back a little bit. Just wonderful. I love it. And Elite. I mean, you can't go wrong with Elite.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to say there was someone, I forget which group it was, but they posted a picture of, I think it was an Olympia, one of the Splendids, Splendid 33 or one of those. And it was the two-tone kind that looks a bit like the 60s era Olympia SF. And they painted it pink. And I was like, oh man. So I had to bite my tongue because when you have one of the most beautiful typewriters and then you paint it pink, that does not make it more beautiful.
Pepto-Bismol pink.
Anyway.
Pepto-Bismol pink.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I've
That's a
seen
popular
this
color, though. Yeah.
this recent thing of hydro dipping, and they put some kind of a thin film of artwork in paint on a surface of a water tank.
Yes.
Then you dip an object, a metal object or something up through the water into it, and it covers it, right? And I could see that might be an interesting way to tart up a typewriter body panels, right?
Yeah, that's
with
what
some kind of artwork.
Everito does
That's what
that.
he wants to do.
Oh, does he?
Mhm,
Yeah.
definitely.
Austin Typewriter Inc. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done a Calibri like that in kind of a green and brown, different colors of brown hydro dip like that. And it's a very pretty machine. You can get some pretty interesting results.
Yeah. But then there's the terrible ones that we see where they dip the entire typewriter in paint. Or just, I think it was a pink one, and everything was painted. The plat and the carriage, it was just covered in paint. It was just a decoration. It wasn't even pretty, but.
Emery doesn't do that.
No. He keeps them functional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also hand paints typewriters as well because he's a really good artist actually. So
yeah, there's an overlap there with the motorcycle culture, and I'm sure Bob Marshall will chime in here in a second. But painting of helmets and tanks, motorcycle tanks, is a real common thing you see in the motorcycle community, right? So people want their custom tank painted, or maybe they have hard panniers on the back of the motorcycle, like a touring bike or something. So I could see somebody with that kind of skill painting up a typewriter would be perfect.
Yeah. Excellent.
Look, I can unmute. No,
There
Joe,
you go.
you're absolutely right. And the benefit to that is anything we can get in the States that is the finish that will withstand gasoline. And that's very hard to do when it comes to motorcycles. So they end up having a very good overcoat for whatever they paint, because it has to withstand gasoline. If it doesn't withstand gasoline, it'll take a day or two to figure it out, and you'll be quickly out of business in the world of motorcycles. Motorcyclists are very similar to musicians or authors or anybody. They're very passionate people. And I learned that a long time ago with my music industry. You do something right, they may or may not tell someone else. you do something wrong, they're going to tell everybody. So it's best to make sure you have a good lacquer, a good finish on doing all the motorcycle work. So that way the gasoline that we use today is not eating through the paint. And I've talked to a few of those friends of mine who paint stuff, and they're very excited. And a lot of them kind of work out of their house, you know, so they'd really, which I'm sure is against OSHA somewhere, but they're not working in full-blown paint booths. You know, their paint booths are just kind of a filter, and they probably have some laundry detergent sprayed on the wall, and they just kind of wet it all down and start painting, right? So it works pretty well. I think it'd be fun to do more typewriters like that in the future. I've never been real big on painting my motorcycles. I certainly don't paint tanks. You know, which is ridiculous because I have a lot of friends. I've had friends trade me work and, you know, do my helmets for me. And I just think this is great. I'd never spend $400 to have this done. I think it's totally worth it. I just know the helmet may hit the ground and you know, there's nothing sacred in this world, and none of my motorcycles are pretty, but I think I've learned that people like touching pretty typewriters, and that makes sense. You can weather control them. Anytime I park a motorcycle in my living room or dining room, people get really weird about it. So I've just had to learn how to do that. Yeah. The weather in this town will kill everything if you let it. So
Bob, you
anyways,
instead
good morning.
moved your
How is
typewriters to
everybody?
the garage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the motorcycles are out. They're behind the garage now in the carport, and all the typewriters are here in the garage. Yeah. I do have some too in my basement. I'm very fortunate to have a basement, so it's great. If I have a machine, I don't want to look at it today. Maybe not. It's worth whatever. I can open the bale, set it in its case, put it in a climate-controlled room. Right, my basement never gets above 70 degrees and never gets below 50 because of water heaters down there. And it's a very small space. I'm very fortunate to have that space, and it's all built in. There might be one or two places where a rat or mouse might get in, but it hasn't happened in 10 years. So I'm pretty fortunate in that regard. You know, Greg, I did changing the subject. I did get I sent you a text message yesterday. Did you happen to get it?
I did get it.
Okay.
And I just haven't responded, but I talked to my wife about it, and she's excited about it. So we're going to make a date of it. And because for those that don't know, Bob is going to be having a typewriter exhibit at the Riverside Art Museum. Cool. And he's also going to be giving a talk on the 10th, right?
Yeah. That's the plan so far. And it's really funny. They're kind of, it's a time of COVID, so they're working real hard. They're scrambling to get this together, and I'm going, well, look, no problem. You know, I'll just do this out of the other. I've got one thing to write up for them. You know, they want a description of the talk. You know, there's all the press release about it. We're very fortunate to have we still have a little bit of local news in Riverside. So the Riverside Art Museum isn't very large, but it's very old. Yeah, the building itself is pretty big. It's not a Smithsonian, that's for sure.
No.
In the land of museums, in the land of museums, I think it does really well. So I was very excited to get a call from them, and actually, it's sponsored by Inlandia. They're the ones sponsoring it. We're very fortunate enough here to have a group called Inlandia, and all they do is their very best to get people published. Some of their methods are a little older. They don't do e-publishing. They don't do audiobook publishing. So I'm doing some classes for them and at the end of summer on how to do all that. But it's really great to have an organization that's very excited to publish people. And some of it's autobiographical, and sometimes it's just printing the works out so they can sell it to all their friends or have it at the local library. Inlandia does some really neat stuff. So it was really great. The lady who's in charge of Inlandia, or the head of their board, Katie, she's the one who called me and said, you know, I sit on the board at the Riverside Art Museum, and it'd be really great to have you do a typewriter thing. Can you do this? Can I do? you're gonna pay me to talk about typewriters? Usually people pay me to shut up about typewriters. This is gonna be great, you know. So it's very exciting. I only get to display one machine. I got a lot of feelers out. I'm working real hard to get. So I'm working real hard to procure some of the machine with a bit of provenance, and that way I can display it in a lock case there. So, you know, and I think admission is $5 to the Riverside Art Museum. So I'm setting out 8 typewriters, 4 tables. Everything will be kind of staggered. People can sit and play with the machines. And I set out yesterday to get all the machines organized. And I just pulled a bunch of stuff off the shelf I have in the dining room, Gregory, and everything worked real well. And I had everything from every century and old stuff. You know, the most expensive model I'm putting out is a Remington Model 1 noiseless. So you know, but other than that, everything's kind of tangible and big stuff, little stuff. So it's very exciting. Are
you going to shoot some video for us and put it on the Austin Typewriter Inc. channel maybe or something?
I love it when Joe says that. I get to remind him I'm an audio guy, not a video guy. I'm not as cool as you, Joe.
Are you going to bring your reel-to-reel tape recorder?
Exactly. Well, and so
and
that
a Telefunken U47 microphone.
Right. That's right. I'll be on stage with an SM58 in my face plugged into the board. No, I'm going to bring my Zoom and just plug in a lapel mic. And I figured I'd put the Zoom on the back of that. That way I could set up my phone and do a live thing, right?
You know, you were saying a while ago that you were taking your typewriters out of your cabinet or whatever, and I was thinking, I guess typewriter people, instead of having China cabinets, we have typewriter cabinets, right? Where normally you would keep the fine china, but we keep our typewriters.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've spent my whole life carrying around my grandmother's hutch, and when I bought my family's house here 25 years ago or whatever, I ended up with my grandmother's hutch, and this darn thing is gorgeous and big, and I've repainted it and refinished it. It's got big glass fronts, and it's only 13 inches deep, so I can't put any typewriters in it. You know. So I'm really disappointed. And so I've had to get new shelving, paint the shelving similar to my grandmother's hutch, and put it up. And that's real nice too. I'm always out looking for different types of shelving. I'm not much of an interior decorator because I don't have very much room. My house is very small. But I did procure another cabinet last week. I'm going to go pick it up today. And anyways, I'm having a lot of fun with how to store and how to put up typewriters. And luckily, all my machines, you know, have the typewriter dust covers on them, or they're in the case. So the ribbons are good. Nothing's dried out. Because sometimes I won't touch a machine for 6 or 8 months. Mm-hmm. And that was a benefit when we had local typewriter club. When we used to meet Sunday nights, I would change through the machines, and then there were other people there who would exercise my machines for me. It was very exciting, right? And I would just bring 3 or 4 machines. I had a dolly and lay them out on the table and let everybody play with them, you know, and I could, you know, that was the old way of doing it, when we all could sit around a big table, sneeze and cough on each other, touch each other's machines, and all the things we don't get to do these days. So I'm very excited that I'm very excited that the CDC came out with, you know, touching COVID is not the problem, it's inhaling it. So I think people will be more apt to play and use the machines. It was a lot of fun figuring out all the details with a large board or a large group of people. You know, usually I'd call Gregory and I'd go, "Hey, Gregory, we're going to go type here today. See you there," you know, and him and I would show up and it'd be no big deal. But having to do it through a whole board of people, luckily, a lot of these people are older and they remember typewriters. So I'm very excited about this museum event. I think it will do wonderful things for the local community of Riverside. I was born and raised here, so it's real nice to give back in that regard. So I will be doing an audio show that is all recorded and then release it the next day or two on Austin Typewriter Inc. in the presentation. I hope somebody can get something from it. If nothing else, they can get how to talk to a large strain group about typewriters. Everything that I've written out, I can't call it a machine. I have to call it a typewriter, right? I have to really, I want to say dumb it down, but I just have to make sure that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So.
I think Marvin has a comment.
Good to see you, Marvin. Welcome back.
Hello, Bob.
Hello.
Good to see you. Mr. No, that came out wrong. What I was trying to convey was that do we have a large enough base to establish international relations? I mean, such as Bob, I see a huge potential for him, especially in our typewriter community. For example, a bit off topic, but it's going to go back into topic soon. I am head of public enlightenment for the International Slide Rule Museum.
Cool.
Now, each year, in our slide rule communities, there are several slide rule communities throughout the world. There are from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Canada, the UK, from Australia, the United States, and we gather together in an event which is called IM 2020, IM 2021. IM stands for International Meeting of Collectors and Researchers of Slide Rules and Computing Instruments. So what I was trying to ask was, do we have a large enough base aside from this which you have created from different countries, from different parts of the globe, where we can connect together, where we can present our ideas to each other? Because I'd like to hear more about what Bob is doing, what Bob's talk would be. But unfortunately, I currently do not have the necessities required to travel across the globe. So,
well, that's a really good question, Marvin. I can give an opinion and then I can give a fact statement. We're very fortunate. You have access to the podcast, right? Austin Typewriters Inc. Typewriter Podcast.
Are you familiar with that, Marvin?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, do you have access to the podcast, the Austin Typewriters Inc. podcast? Are you familiar with that?
No.
Oh, okay. You can look it up on any podcast format. It's called Austin Typewriters Inc. And Austin is a town in Texas. It's right in the middle of Texas. It's the capital of Texas. And Texas is a pretty large state here in the U.S. They're not the biggest. Alaska is, but don't tell anyone from Texas that. Austin, AUSTIN Typewriters Inc. So we have a podcast that I'm co-host on. So I often laugh. I've gotten a few mailers from people who have seen me here, and they go, "Oh, I know you're the voice on Austin Typewriters Inc." Right. So it's a great podcast. It's audio show. There's a lot of information. We're very fortunate to have that format. And if you're into watching video, on YouTube, you have Joe Van Cleve's channel, of course. So I think with the privatization of business here in the States, we're real big on not being too well organized. Number one, because there's something called RICO in the laws in the state, that is racketeering. And if you have a national or international system, you can be busted for that. So a lot of people do not organize because of RICO. We do it in the motorcycle world all the time. We are not that well organized. Other than that, we just kind of have this. And then I wonder, then it begs the question, people on typewriters, are they more lone wolves, rebels by themselves, interested in writing? They may not be, they're not going to be as organized as people who are into slide rules, mathematics, all the good things that make the world go round, right? Similar to an international astrological society or something like, or telescope society, who knows. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. I can tell you, Marvin, you are amongst giants. When I got into typewriters 4 years ago or whatever, Ted Monk's typewriter database did wonderful things for me. Joe Van Cleese, watching his videos, did wonderful things for me. And then we came out with the podcast. And I love podcasts. I love audiobooks. I listen to them all day long. I rarely have time. The only time I sit and watch Joe's videos, you all are going to laugh. My phone will tell me Joe has a new video. And I put it on when I'm at lunch and I watch about 10 minutes of it while I'm eating lunch. And then I take, a 20-minute nap at my desk, and there's Joe's voice in my ear, but I'm falling asleep with Joe.
I have that effect upon people.
And then I've got to go back and watch it. If I know it's going to be good, then I have to, step back. Well, I've been sleeping 20 minutes. Let me back it up 20
But at
minutes.
least the lunch stayed down,
That's right.
At least.
So when I need to sleep at lunch, I hope Joe came out with a new video, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'll have to keep that in mind when I'm creating my next video. I'll have to do something. So in relationship to what Marvin was asking about, I was just going to mention that the typewriter community online seems to be rather diverse in the sense that you have people that do their own blogs, and blogging or typewriter blogging has been one of the most there probably was the first form of typewriter social media, since the mid 2000s, right? And, Richard Polt's blog and Strike Through, Cheryl Lowry's blog, a lot of these early bloggers are real important to that. But also we have of course, YouTubers, not just myself, but a number of YouTubers that do YouTube videos about typewriters. But then we also have things like the Facebook groups, the Antique Typewriter Maintenance and the Antique Typewriter Collectors Group, right? That seem to be really active right now. So the internet world of typewriters is kind of distributed amongst a number of media platforms. And I don't know if it would work well to try to bring them under an umbrella of one large organization or one, united organization. It seems to be rather diverse.
Yeah.
And Marvin, also, they have, I'm on the board of Etc. Magazine, which is a worldwide typewriter collectors magazine that's actually printed on paper. And so there are organizations that cater to the international community. And Etc. has been around since like 86, I think, 1986. And if you go to ETRA online.org, that's the website for Etc. Online for the magazine. And so there are, and there actually is a German newsletter as well. Which I can't pronounce, but they cater mostly to the European collector community. But there's crosstalk between the two organizations, and there are more formal organizations involved in typewriter collecting that cater to the international community.
Yeah, and we're very lucky that Monk and even Richard Polt, if you go to their sites, they point to each other. They point to each other's sites. So they're very good on, if you're looking for this, go look over here. If you're looking for this, look here. I've got this here. It's very well organized, in my opinion. I thank God every day for people like Monk or Polt or Van Cleve. I mean, it just makes it a lot easier. So.
And also, I want to mention there's also Hermes, which is an annual gathering, the biggest one in the typewriter world, basically. And of course, last year it was virtual. So I think if you go to virtualhermes.com, I think it is, you can see what all went on. All the archived videos are on there. So that's like the biggest event in the typewriter world. So I would say that's probably the closest we're going to get to, like, one big organization.
I see.
That's just once a year, though.
And it may work out in the future that it's easier to put it under an international hat. We're all just busy making our nickels and dimes independently. And in the US, that's not uncommon. Marvin, you were from Indonesia, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, things are done differently anywhere you go. In the US here, we're very big at not being under one umbrella. We're very big at being all independent and finding ways to make our own nickels and dimes, if that makes sense. We don't even have, I think I was asking Bill a few weeks ago, Bill Wall. Yeah, there's never been any type of even real guild for typewriter repair, for example. Like there's not a typewriter repair guild. Richard Pult has a great list on his site, which is great. I get a call or two from that every month, but I think there's maybe there's opportunity for a guild. Can you actually fix typewriters? Do you have good business practices? Things like that. But would I pay several $100s a year or whatever to be a member of a guild? I don't know. I pay a union now and I'm not too hip on it. But
so Bob, would you have to come up with a secret handshake if you had a guild? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have a crest on your shirt, a crest and
Right. We'll get like gold chains and patches and
there's the secret handshake, something like that.
Yeah. A little bell.
Little bell, ding, ding, ding.
Well, who knows? There's all sorts of opportunities. I think typewriters are just going up in value. They're just going back up in popularity. I think we're at a very good place, although maybe Monk said that 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Who knows? Like these guys have been
more so now. Yeah, it is more so now than it was then.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I often wonder that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exploded. Well, especially since the past year in COVID times, people have been, well, I mean, you can see it in our own membership. There's a lot of people who joined the whole typewriter community right at the beginning of COVID. And basically they just were stuck at home and looking for something to do. And the popularity of the community has exploded quite a bit in the past year because of that.
So I'm going to segue this discussion briefly into the popularity of typewriters this week. If you've been on Facebook, you've seen the ads for, what am I talking about, Ted? Yes. The Lego typewriter.
Yes, I saw it.
Have you seen
it
that?
supposedly works, right?
It has one key. It has one key that works.
Okay.
It doesn't actually print, but yeah, it actually has a carriage that moves, I think. So there's some kind of an escapement mechanism, which is interesting.
Oh.
Well, anybody who buys one of those for $200, I'm not going to get crap from when I want to charge them $100 to fix their actual typewriter.
But if typewriters are popular enough to arrive in the popular culture as a Lego toy, then I think that says something.
Yeah,
it really does. It really does. Yep.
Yes. Well, Mr. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. This, frankly, is one of the most informal meetings I have ever been to. If you join in one of my museum meetings, you will see that I address my superior as Mr. Speaker. Yeah.
We do not use Robert's Rules of Order in this meeting.
Yeah.
Gregory, from now on, you are Mr. Speaker.
I know.
That's right, Mr. Speaker.
Mr.
I
Poor
like
Speaker.
that.
I think I need it. It takes time for me to adjust to each situation.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I'm very bad at social interaction, especially virtual interaction, because I cannot see directly what your facial expressions are, and therefore I don't know whether you want to talk or you want to express something. So when I talk, it would be rude. I would be interrupting you. But back to the topic, what I was suggesting was not an international umbrella, but rather a meeting which is international. But you have given me that that solution, which is I've looked it up. It's virtual Hermes.
Yes.
I've looked it up.
Yes.
And yes, I think it's rather representative of what I'm trying to talk you into. But well, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, I'm quite sure that many of us like typewriters for different reasons. For example, I use typewriters for other than my personal hobby. I use it for work, which I use it for letter writing, whether that is personal or business. So I once wrote a letter to, who's it called? To the President of the United States with a typewriter. And usually the last line, I leave it rather thick and thin. That is to indicate I'm typing on a manual, not an electric. One thing that I like is that when typing a business letter using the typewriter, people know that, oh, this man is not copy and pasting. This man is not just writing me using a template. He's actually devoting his time to writing to me. That's what I like about you doing professional correspondence with the typewriter. Other than that, I use it for research. But yes, one of the first encounters of typewriters on YouTube was Joe Van Cleves' channel when I was 8 years old. When I was 8 years old,
Wow.
I saw one of his videos. No, actually, before I saw his videos, I saw, Lenore Fenton, if you know her, from the U.S. Navy, or it's one of the U.S. Navy's typing.
The speed typist.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was her who I first watched, and I admire her. I printed her books, and then I found Joe Van Cleves' film. So whenever I eat, my parents would scold me because I watched your videos. Thank you very much.
That's really cool. Yeah, there's a young man
Yes.
locally here who's a big fan of Joe's too, who's always sending letters to Joe. Was it Pedro?
That's right.
Joe? That is-
It's
Javier.
Javier. Yeah.
Javier.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Javier, yes.
In Harupa Valley.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Gregory and I have to. We're gonna have to hang out with this young man sometime. Well, at the museum. It'd be great to meet this young man.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
very fortunate, and I think Joe reaches out to all ages. I know my son enjoys his videos as well. So it's
That's because I'm immature for my age.
I don't think that's it at all.
I think it is.
You're always playing with toys.
Ted knows I am immature.
Well, it's one thing to do awesome stuff. It's another thing to share it in such the professional manner that you do, Joe. And that's
Thank
what
you.
makes it entertaining, and that's what makes it
Yeah.
worth watching, in my opinion, or listening. And I hope I'm doing the same with audio shows. I just picked audio along. I just have a voice. I'm sorry. I have a face for radio. That's what
There you go. Oh, all right. So we have like a ton of comments we have to get caught up on. First of all, so I mentioned that I requested that people post in the comments to my Facebook posts what their response to the typing prompt would be. So in Modern Typewriter, which I found that group is actually one of the more responsive groups. I seem to get the most likes and comments when I post in there. So we have, and I'm going to slaughter his name, but Emery Osman. So again, the typing prompt is, if my typewriter had a superpower, it would be ... And Emery says, make what I type come true. And that was like the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, yeah, I would totally do that. And it's a super powerful superpower.
That's a Stephen King novel right there.
There you go.
It
Yeah.
actually is. Typewriter of the Gods, or Word Processor of the Gods.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. And then we have Daniel Smith says, to work perfectly forever. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
One I really like and is really fascinating and would make an excellent story is from, did I say that one was from Daniel Smith? I want to make sure I mentioned their names. That one was from Daniel Smith. Then we have William Davis. This one's very interesting. To be able to reproduce everything ever typed on it. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be cool. Yeah.
Wow.
That would be amazing. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check the other groups real quick. I don't think there was.
I finished my typing prompt.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Well, on the other one, like I was saying, the only other one, Antique Typewriter Collectors, Jean Pless says hello from Scotland. So I'll get to yours in just a moment, Diane. I want to get caught up on these
No
because there's a
problem.
lot of comments.
No problem. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and some of them I've been posting here in our chat in Zoom. So Mark 80 Bojang Running Wild, I love that name, by the way, says, hi guys, I'm on vacation with my future missus in Arkansas, but to go in, I guess about to go in a cave, otherwise I'd join. So about to go in a cave, that's interesting. Then we have Brandy Lee. Hi, Brandy. She says, I'm a busy working bee this morning, so I'm going to lurk on the YouTube side today. Excellent. Mark says, I actually bought a Smith Corona clipper from a garage sale. I got it from $100 down to $50. Wow. I offered to clean and work on it for her or for them, and they let me. So they gave me half off it. Excellent. Oh, I lost my place. There we go. And then Brandy says, after I bought my first 2 typewriters, both Olympias, the first book I bought was a monk book. I guess I have to buy a second copy though, because it has disappeared. Oh no.
Oh no.
Kind of big. How do you lose one of those?
I know, huh? And Diesel 419 says, hey folks. And then says, I'll drop my 2 cents here. For me, the tactile act of typing just makes writing more fun, while at the same time removing any distractions that typing on a computer offers.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yeah. And then Diesel 419 says, also typewriter keyboards have a vertical element that computer keyboards don't have. Is that in reference to the travel of the keys, I wonder?
Well, and the keyboard sloped at
oh, yes. Got it.
angle.
Got it.
Back in the day, you could get keyboards that computer keyboards that had little feet that fold out. But
yeah.
I don't know if anybody uses those anymore.
Yeah. Marvin is showing it there.
Yeah.
I'm always getting strips of 1x2 or 2x2s and putting behind my computer keyboards to prop them up for myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
yeah, we have a bunch of old desktop computers at the factory I work at, and some of them have those keyboards like Ted mentioned with the feet, and typically one of the feet will be busted. There's always one foot that's busted.
Right? I know, right?
So you have to come up with something to prop under the other corner to prop it up, you know.
Sometimes if the cord to the keyboard is just right, you can put that under there.
Yeah, that's right.
And then let's see. Oh yeah, Maylin says, good morning. I first wanted a typewriter again to get away from computers to write like in my youth. I've since discovered that I enjoy reviving the machines as well, maybe even more so. And then Diesel 419 says, many older models with terrible paint still work fine, so repainting makes perfect sense. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Then Maylin, now this is kind of funny. She says, see you all next time. family's in town, and we're all getting ready for my daughter's wedding today, and
That's
she's
right.
watching us on YouTube. Her daughter's getting married, and she's on YouTube watching us.
That's
Well,
great.
You know, got to
congratulations
keep
to
your
her-
priorities
her daughter.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, no, Eric's right. Congratulations to May. She's a real
Yeah.
good.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Glad she's finally marrying off her daughter. You know,
Finally got rid of that one, huh? Someone else's problem.
Yeah. Then Diesel 419, and I told you there was a lot of comments. Diesel 419 says, for some reason, Olympia and pink don't work in the same sentence, in reference to the post I mentioned.
Yeah.
Let's see. Almost there. Oh, I think we're caught up. Whoo! Yes, I think we're caught up now.
well
All
done,
right.
Gregory. Thank you for that.
Woo! Usually there's not quite that many comments on YouTube, so it got busy there for a while. All right, so I believe Diane was saying she has a typewriter prompt, or actually, it looks like she's in the midst of something.
Yeah, I'm giving a typewriter a deep clean,
Ah,
removing some of that 126-year-old ink in the type slugs. But yes, I do have a typing prompt. So,
Mr. Speaker asks you to say it.
what?
Mr. Speaker wants you to say it.
Oh,
The poor speaker.
poor speaker.
Gregory, the poor speaker.
It's kind of true because I'm not the best speaker, but you know.
So here we go. The typing prompt is, if I had a superpower, it would be telepathy. I say that because of the obvious need for people who can work on a typewriter without mangling my parts, breaking them, and then having to cannibalize another machine for a part that didn't need to be broken simply because the current owner has no training or is in over their head and not willing to admit it, or even if they realize it. I could explain what to do in what order. That would be most beneficial. This power would be most beneficial for the, okay, I got specific here. For the Smith Premier machines in my current owner's collection, there are currently no service manuals available for them. I wonder if any of the Smith Premier information is still in existence in the archives of whatever may remain from SCM, wherever the company wound up in whatever merger. I don't know if it's a superpower, but the ability to create parts would be nice too.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
So you're talking telepathy for the typewriter itself to tell you?
Yes.
Ah,
To tell me how to tell us how to fix things, or oh, don't do this, or how to do that.
That tickles.
I know.
Cut my keys.
You know,
What if the typewriter had the
Elon
power
Mu-
of regeneration?
Yeah,
Elon
that's
Musk.
the other one that I was thinking
Yeah.
of. Because I'm sitting here. Here's my dental pick and my brass brush and my toothbrush and my magnifying. Well, it's actually the front lens element off of an old camera that I got from a camera repair shop before they closed, and so yeah, I use that. It's obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm basically pushing down, getting one slug at a time, and I'm getting one slug at a time. And like I say, I don't know that I can one slug at a time, and I'm cleaning it.
Wow.
That happens to be the lowercase o, and it's got a lot of ink in it.
Wow. Well, you have fun with that.
You should look up. You should look up dental hygiene on YouTube and maybe get some tips from them.
Well, it's not quite going to work.
Oh boy. Hi Dan, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you? Nice to
Good.
see
It
you.
must
all.
be a nice day, huh?
Yeah, it's a very nice day. And guess what? I've got pool duty at home. So I've been emptying my pool and refilling with water. So I've been doing this for 6.5 hours now. So this is really a treat. Sitting down with you guys is. I'm not much of a handyman, to tell you the truth, but this I can manage. But it's 1,000 liters that I have to fill in. But it's okay. How are you? It's a very, very warm summer evening here in Sweden. So I sit out of my patio with this baby.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So this time of year, Dan, how many hours of sunlight do you have a day?
Up in the northern Sweden, we don't have any nights at all. In Lapland, you don't have any darkness at all. It's I'm going up there in about 2 weeks. But here where I live, which is about 1 hour from Stockholm in the middle of Sweden, it's about solid 3 hours, I guess.
Wow.
We went home from a party at my fiance's sister's house, and we went to bed at 2:15, and 2:45 the sun began to rise. So if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's practically daylight. So that's a nice thing when you're out on the club back in the days where we used to. So you went home. It's pretty much daylight. So it's June now. It will turn around in the end of the month. Yeah. But it's really. I have friends who has been over from San Francisco, and they went once, never came back. What's the matter with you? Oh, I hate those nights, man. I can't stand them.
But then in the winter time, though, you have 3 hours of daylight, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it basically when it gets worst, we had probably the coldest winter here in January and February in 20 years. And I took a walk to my work. I have a little office bin in downtown. It's about a 1 hour of strolling. So I went at 7 o'clock in the morning, still dark. Reached my office at 8 o'clock, still dark, starting to get lighter. And at 3 o'clock when I turned home in the afternoon, it's getting dark. So we have about 4 or 5 hours of sunlight.
Wow.
Yeah. So so it's very, very. So when summer's coming, everybody gets nuts because everybody's sitting in for all the year. So it's very nice. So I've been sitting out on the porch with my Olympia. I actually had a very funny thing to share with you because I've been practically drenched in typewriters this week. Because I started a new temp gig. I'm into marketing. I've been working marketing for 25 years. So I actually got headhunted for a temp gig at the city council 10 days ago. And we have this group where I'm working at the city council. They said, okay, everybody get about 2 minutes to say something about themselves. And of course, I said, I'm very much into typewriters. Turn out that 2 of the people in my group had parents who run a secondhand shop. So I have been at least 5 or 6 mails this week with people who say, okay, my father found this faucet in the are you interested in that? I find a brother. Actually, I had both of them, but it's pouring in pretty good tips. So it's very, very nice. I get a mail once in a while. I get 3 this week with typewriters up for sale at the secondhand store. So I haven't bought anyone yet, but still.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. So for those long summers, long summer days, do you have like blackout curtains, like super thick curtains to darken the room?
Yeah, it doesn't. You know, the thing is, because we haven't had too much warm summers until 3 years ago, where we had temperatures, 90s Fahrenheit, which is a lot for Sweden, and everybody shuts down. Nobody is able to function because it's too hot. And then we have actually these blackout curtains because it's sometimes it's really warm. But nobody is really accustomed to heat in this country. Nobody's really can focus or been able to work. It's very funny because at lunchtime everybody's outside going in again, but it's something about the metabolism. I function much better when it's cold. I have often tried, going to Spain, sitting in a bench with my typewriters. I wouldn't be able to do I wouldn't be able to do anything, but it's okay when it's really cold. You go to the work and you have icicles in your beard. Then I'm able to. I have something of a Viking in me still left, and
That's right.
Yeah. And I have a son who's hate the heat, but he's very accustomed to the coldness too. So he can walk out in a t-shirt and don't freeze. So I don't know where he got that from, but not for me per se. But it's very nice actually when you go inside wintertime when it's get really cold and a lot of snow. It's very atmospheric, very quiet, very so it's a nice thing. So I've been thinking about moving to Spain, but I wouldn't be able to do anything there.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry, not. I used to work. I worked actually in the States and the East Coast 20 years ago in Boston, and that's I feel very accustomed to that that cold was very damp. So I haven't been. I froze. That was the first time I felt frozen in Boston for about 1 month, January, February. So I went out and bragged at the office. Well, I'm a Swede. I can take almost anything because I'm a Viking, And the first, they came off, and it was the coldness was very. You can feel it into your skin. And I was the first complaining about the coldness, and somebody said, "Okay, we thought you were a Viking, so." Get it shows.
Yeah. You have a comment, Bill?
Yeah, oh, I just was when an opportunity arose, I had a question, and I also did my typing prompt. So I didn't realize there's a raise your hand feature here.
There you go.
Yeah. So while Marvin is here, I actually wanted to ask a quick question of him, and then I'll get to my typing prompt. But my grandfather, who I never had the opportunity to meet, was big in aviation, and he actually was friends with Charles Lindbergh. My grandmother had photos of them together. Wow. And he was one of the late in his career, was one of the very first to get into jet engines. But one of the things that I've inherited is this tool that he had called a load adjuster. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
But get this out here. I'm curious if this would be classified as a type of slide rule. It's got these,
Yes, that is a slide rule.
Okay.
Excellent.
It's got this like diagram of the fuselage, I guess, and how things are arranged, and I guess maybe this is used to determine, how much fuel is needed or something like that. But I just kind of wondered about this over the years. And since you mentioned slide rules, I thought this would be an opportunity to ask someone who knows.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So cool. So on the typing prompt, I wrote, if my typewriter had a superpower, it would be the ability to create amazing pieces of work through writing. Thinking about this further, my typewriter is already capable of this. I just need to step up my own game. How about that? My typewriter has a superpower.
Excellent. Very cool.
Thank
Well,
you.
I will go ahead and do mine as well. I did mine. I had to cross out a whole section. I like to use the slash to cross things out. And it was funny because I had to cross out actually 2 lines. That's why I didn't use my correct type. But on this particular typewriter, which is 60s era Smith Corona Sterling, the slash marks on, if you do 2 lines, they actually connect just about perfectly. So it's, let me see if it will show up here. Focus, yes. So you see there, they connect just about perfectly.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so I found that very interesting, and I thought, someone could very easily use that for typewriter art. So I'm no artist that way, but all right, let me take myself off here. And all right, so if my typewriter had a superpower, it would be the power, and this is a nod to Eric because you mentioned it earlier, it would be the power to regenerate. In addition to the obvious repairs, hard platen, escapement, motion and on-feet adjustments, it would be able to completely change its appearance. My Olivetti Lettera 25 could become an Olympia Traveler Deluxe. My Royal 440 could change into a Hermes 3000. My Sperry Rand Remington Streamliner would look and feel like a green Royal Futura 800. To keep my typewriter from constantly changing itself on a whim, there could be a limit of 13 regenerations. As any Doctor Who fan knows, this could always be changed later as a matter of plot convenience. It goes without saying that this typewriter has a blue box that is bigger on the inside, offering plenty of room for not only my current typewriter collection, but all the typewriters I could ever want. And while we're at it, let's make it so the box can travel through space and time. Yeah, that'll do. There you go. Yeah. So a lot of Doctor Who references there. For those that don't know, it's a British sci-fi show that's been running off and on since the late 60s. And it features a Time Lord who, when he's about to die, he can actually regenerate. In other words, change the actor and basically prolong his life. And he can do that 13 times, but then they
14.
change that 14 times?
16. No, they've changed it is the thing.
Yeah, they changed it. And so, which I didn't like, but anyway, and then he travels in, it's a blue, it's like a phone booth, but it's a blue police call box, which is kind of an outdated British thing. And it's bigger on the inside. So it actually has many, many, many rooms inside. So for those that aren't familiar, oh, and it travels through space and time. So yeah, so that's what all those references were.
Is that what is called a TARDIS?
A TARDIS, yes.
Yeah, I've heard references. Yeah.
Yeah.
The TARDIS actually does have an SM3 on the control board.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
yep. So
yeah.
all you need is the TARDIS, and you would have the SM3 already.
There you go.
Do you have the sticker on your car that says "My other car is a TARDIS"?
Oh, I've seen those.
Or my other automobile, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those.
That's crazy.
Yes.
The show.
Library in my neighborhood.
Oh, you're cutting out, Care.
Uh-oh. Your audio is all...
Your audio. Your picture is fine, but your audio's...
It's askew.
He sounds like a Dalek. Oh, there she goes.
Reference. Exterminate.
I know the words. Okay, is that better?
There we
That's
go.
better.
Yes.
There you
That's
go.
better.
I just turned off my headset thing.
Okay.
I said there's a TARDIS little free library in my neighborhood.
Oh
neat.
yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
There's also one that's shaped like a part of a Viking boat with ornate carvings and brasswork on it.
Oh, that's excellent.
There's a lot of
Yeah, we have a little free library, but ours is just, it looks like a little house, and it's green, and we're gonna repaint it when we repaint the house so it matches.
oh, nice.
Yeah, very, very fun.
Just for the Doctor Who people, the very first episode of Doctor Who aired the day that Kennedy was assassinated.
Oh my
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it got pushed back. I think I don't remember if it's 15 or 30 minutes due to that, but it happened on the same day.
Wow.
Wow, I think you win Trivia Nerd of the Year. That was so many streams, right? Combined.
I know.
No, I've been watching Doctor Who since 1984, although mostly the original series, so to speak. I've seen a lot of the more current versions, but I don't know. I can't get into those.
I bet you're a Tom Baker.
Ed Baker.
Actually, that's how I started, but I got to like John Pertwee, the third
Really?
Doctor. And I had met a lot of the actors and actresses who played the parts, and I got to eat lunch with the second master. His name was Anthony Ainley. He was a total trip.
I loved him.
He was a riot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's very cool.
I used to watch it too.
You used to watch it?
What, me?
Yeah.
I only watched the old series, not the new ones.
Yeah.
I like the first and second Doctors most.
Okay. I accept that.
I can see what a debate this could get to be. I know vaguely about Doctor Who, and some dear people are Whovians. Did I do that right? But
Yes,
I've never actually watched it.
Oh, it's good.
I used to watch it. Yeah, back in the 80s, Tom Baker.
Yes.
I loved him, but
yeah,
with his long scarf. Yeah, my daughter tried to make me that scarf, but she never could finish. And apparently that was a fluke. The people gave the lady, and it was like pick, and she just used it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I was in England, I made a point of finding one of the police box to get. I was trying to find the picture, but I can't find it. But get my picture. But then my mom wasn't feeling well because it's the end of our trip, and so I went by myself. Went on the tube by myself, and the whole thing. Found it, and then when I got there, there was nobody there to take the picture for me. So I'm like,
a selfie.
The sad selfie. Yeah.
Oh.
A sad, lonely selfie.
Yeah, it was. It was sad. But I found it, so I was excited about that.
Yeah. Very cool. Does anyone else have a typing prompt?
Me?
I do.
All right, we have a couple. Who wants to go first?
Natasha.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's kind of long. It's
all
long,
right,
though, guys. But the reason for that is because what I did was decide to make a story out of it. But this is what I would like my typewriter to do, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let me go ahead and put my little 4 eyes on. All right. So the title is The Fortune-Telling Typewriter. And the location is the Catskills in upstate New York, 1962. Adrian was assisting his wife Lucinda with preparing their vacation home for visitors when it suddenly occurred to him that he had never been in the attic. Though she was busy instructing the maid on how she wanted the dinner napkins folded, Lucinda managed to glance up and notice her husband ascending the stairs. "Darling, where are you headed to?" she inquired. Midway up the stairs already, Adrian replied, "The attic." Slightly perturbed at his answer, she further probed, "Why? We still have quite a bit of work to do before the Atkinsons arrive at 6:30. I know, Lucy. I just realized that after 4 years of owning this home, I've never bothered to check it before. Who knows? There may be an interesting conversation piece up there or something. Well, make it quick, love. Well, they speak British in my mind. Well, make it quick, love. I'll need you to finish moving some furniture around in the sitting room. All right, I'm sure I won't be long at all, Adrian said as he proceeded up the winding staircase to the second floor. Once there, he walked down to the end of the long hallway where he encountered a large brown wooden door. When he turned the knob and opened the heavy door slowly, Adrian was met with another flight of stairs leading up to another heavy oak door that was partially opened. Further intrigued, he carefully climbed the unvarnished plywood stairs that creaked beneath him. When Adrian opened the door a bit more, he was instantly hit with the musty smell of a cavernous old room that was lit only by a single window. Dust at least an inch in depth covered the hardwood floor throughout. His steps made footprints in it as if it were snow. The boy in him considered lying down and making dust angels, but of course he thought better of it and went on with his exploration. A few feet ahead, he noticed what looked like a medium-sized square-shaped object sitting in the middle of the floor. Curious, Adrian walked over closer to it and discovered that it was an old typewriter. It looked to be from the 1920s. It looked to be from the 1920s and had the word Royal printed prominently in gold on it. Lying on its back next to the typewriter was a small baby doll, undressed, but with big blue eyes fringed with black lashes and short matted blonde hair. Adrian squatted down before the antique typewriter and swept dust from the royal insignia as he inspected it, admiring how polished it was otherwise. There was a clean sheet of white paper still in the carriage, seemingly waiting for the next word to be typed on it, but Adrian resisted the temptation to press the pristine glass-covered keys. Instead, he merely grinned at it, stood and turned away from the relic to see what else he could find. Adrian was 4 paces away from the typewriter when the carriage suddenly, harshly shifted to the left on its own. Startled as the loud sound of the carriage banging the end of the heavy metal typewriter echoed throughout the attic, Adrian hastily turned to face the machine. He was stiff with fear as the keys began to press down. The carriage moved to the right with each one, and black letters slowly appeared on the white sheet of paper. Once a short paragraph was completed, the creepy typing stopped. For a while, both the typewriter and Adrian stood in complete silence. Finally, curiosity won him over. He gingerly approached the apparently haunted typewriter, squatted down again, and read its words. You long for a mother's love. That is why you married her. The miscarriage of a daughter was a relief. She is to love no one or nothing else but you. Orphaned at 2 months of age by a teenage mother because it was also, orphaned at 2 months of age by a teenage mother, and because it was also true that his wife Lucinda had suffered a miscarriage early in their marriage, Adrian was rightfully astonished by the words typed in black and white on the sheet of paper before him. The accuracy was uncanny, but he still could not believe what was happening. Who are you? He questioned the machine. Is this some sort of a bloody gag? The typewriter's carriage shifted harshly to the left again. Another paragraph was quickly typed before his blue eyes. You resent your biological mother. Though you say that you understand her reason for leaving you, you resent that she went on to marry and have more children. Because of this, despite your success, you feel that you are inadequate and illegitimate. Again, who are you? Adrian asked as he was becoming emotional. How can you know these things? The carriage shifted again. Another paragraph resulted. Your insecurities have and will cause you to stray. You have 2 sons. They are already born. Having had a vasectomy almost immediately after Lucinda's miscarriage, Adrian gasped, "What? That is impossible." And the typewriter interrupted him with another shift to the left. "The firstborn will find you, but you will not know him long." The downstairs door to the attic suddenly creaked open. "Adrian, darling, it's nearly 6:15. Come down, I need you," Lucinda called to him. "Right, I'll be down in a moment," he replied. Before leaving the attic, he looked at the typewriter again. He watched with amazement as the words on the page slowly began to fade away. The paper was once again a clean slate, as if nothing at all had ever happened. 3 weeks later, Adrian brought his very best friend Grant over to the guest house in the Catskills. Without mentioning the fortune-telling typewriter at all, Adrian only asked Grant if he would just at least go up to the attic alone as well. "Why do you want me to do this so badly, man?" Grant asked as he was reluctant to go there, especially by himself. "Please, Grant, just go up there for me, will you?" Adrian practically begged him. "There is something that I have to know. Don't worry, I'll be right outside the door waiting for you, I promise." "Adrian, you know I don't care for attics. Haven't since we were kids. Remember when we ran away from that foster home together and stayed in Auntie Gracie's attic for a while? Yeah, it gave me the bloody creeps. Please, just this once. I'll never ask you again. This had better not be a practical joke or something, Adrian. I swear I promise, Grant, no practical jokes." "Oh, all right then." Grant acquiesced to Adrian, as he often did throughout their friendship. As Adrian did before him, Grant opened the heavy oak door to the dimly lit attic and inhaled the musty smell. He closed the door behind himself and scanned the attic with his hazel brown eyes. When he looked around, he noticed the typewriter in the middle of the still dusty wooden floor. Adrian's prior footprints were still visible as his friend walked over them to the vintage machine and the naked blue-eyed baby doll that was still laying beside it. As Grant stared down at the typewriter, he smiled and said aloud to himself, "I haven't seen one of these royals in ages. I wonder why." Before Grant could finish his sentence, the typewriter's carriage shifted so hard to the left that it nearly toppled the hefty relic. Grant jumped practically out of his own skin with fright. Despite this, he could not help but watch as the keys to the typewriter pressed down on their own again, and a finished sentence was formed. "You are in love with the man who brought you here." In shock, after reading the typed message, Grant uttered, "What? Who are you? How would you know?" The carriage shifted again. "You lie for him, fight for him, and will kill for him." Also unable to believe what was going on in front of him, Grant said, "Adrian, are you somewhere pulling strings on this thing? This has got to be some sort of another shift of the typewriter's carriage." Interrupted him. "Your partner is aware of your true feelings. He is plotting against your friend. You will have to make a decision soon." Grant quickly backed away from the typewriter. He heard Adrian coming up the stairs. He too took another glance at the typewriter, and once again the words faded away from the paper. Adrian opened the door to the attic and saw the look of horror on his best friend's face. "What did it tell you, Grant?" he asked. Grant shook his head and lied. He said, nothing of importance." "Are you sure about that? You didn't do that, did you?" "That was one hell of a gag if you did, Adrian." "I swear I did not do anything. That typewriter is haunted, I tell you." "Well, what did it tell you?" "It said that Lucinda miscarried our daughter." "Oh my God, Adrian, how would it know such a thing?" "I don't honestly know." "Now, what did it tell you, Grant?" It said that I will lie and maybe even kill for you." Adrian's eyebrows lifted as he said, well, it has the lying part right, eh? Suddenly, the typewriter carriage shifted angrily to the left again. Both men stood at attention as 4 words were typed on the page. You are both liars. Frightened out of their wits, both men scurried out of the attic and out of the house. And that's part 1.
Wow. My goodness, Natasha. You went to town on that.
I worked till 1 a.m. last night, and
Wow.
I forced Paul to go clean the dog because he can't stand to hear the typewriter when he's trying to sleep. So I said, look, go clean the dog or something so I can finish typing this. So he went and cleaned the dog so I can finish typing.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sorry if it was long, guys. I mean,
No,
I was like, I can't really, but that's the only superpower I would want it to be, is a fortune teller.
Yeah,
and it's
there
weird
you
you
go.
did that prompt too, because I had already formulated that story on paper, like I had handwritten it. And then you put that out. I was like, well, instead of saying just that, I'll just finish the story. And so that's what I did.
Nice.
Have quite the imagination.
Yeah, I got too much of that.
Oh, I couldn't help but think that that would have been perfect for Richard Polt's latest book.
Yeah, I saw he had another one out. I was like, man, why come he didn't know about me back then?
I know.
He knows me now somewhat, but on Instagram. But I'm hoping I can be a part of that one day. I really, that would be my, pinnacle of writing, to get my fiction in a book somewhere. I got my nonfiction out there. Speaking of that, y'all, it's actually physically in Barnes and Noble. My abandoned North and South Memphis is actually in Barnes and Noble, the physical store. So if you see it, go get it. They have it faced out, which is awesome. And so, yep. But yeah, to get my actual fiction published, that would be amazing.
Well, the next project that Richard Polt does, just submit a story to him. That's how you get in there.
I don't know when he's doing it, so I guess I have to just keep an eye on him, like I'm doing.
Just keep an eye on his blog. Yeah.
Will do. And I also submit to One Type Page as well. So anybody that's on One Type Page, I'm the marriage counselor between Lucinda and Adrian. I don't put my name on there or anything like that, but that's me.
I was wondering where that story's going. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's me.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah.
Very good.
By the way, I just wanted to interject with something totally unrelated, and I got a package in the mail last week from Diane. I wanted to thank her, and included in her package was a bag of coffee beans, and that's what I'm drinking right here, is some of Diane's coffee beans. So thank you, Diane.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
Does Diane, do you roast your own coffee?
No, it's not her roast. It's something she got from somewhere.
Yeah, it's something I got as part of a pencil purchase from Blackwing.
Cool.
It's a brand of pencils, and
coffee.
They had some sort of coffee thing, and there was a notebook and a pencil, and I thought, how cool is that? And a coffee cup. But I debated on whether I was going to send you the coffee cup too, Joe. But I thought, well, I kind of like the coffee cup, so no, I had to keep that. But I don't drink coffee, and so I figured I know Joe likes his coffee.
Well, I'm happy to report that the coffee tastes nothing like pencil shavings.
That's good. That would be very bad.
Yeah.
The reason I asked is because I for a few years I've been roasting my own coffee with my dad, and we do it in a kind of an interesting way. We use a bread maker and a heat gun, like what you would use for stripping paint.
Wow.
I've been wanting to start
really
roasting beans, but I haven't gotten there yet. But
yeah, we order the beans from well, there's a couple places that we've gotten them from. Right now we've been using Coffee Bean Corral online, and you can order all the green beans from them, and they have all sorts of different origins that you can get them from. And our favorite one that we've tried is Costa Rica. That seems to be a really really good results because we like to do dark roasts usually, and
Oh.
it makes a really good dark roast.
Okay.
I'm all about dark roast.
Yeah, and if you ever get a chance to go and visit Joe, one of the greatest compliments he'll ever do is make a cup of coffee for you, because he pulls all this stuff out of the cupboard and hooks it all together, and you think he's making rocket fuel or something. 10 minutes later, you get this wonderfully brewed cup, and if you're lucky, he serves it to you in this great old coffee house cup that was there in Albuquerque that's been in all the videos. I got to drink out of said cup, so that was very nice.
Well,
Joe, I
yeah.
think you had a video where you showed that, right? You showed.
Yeah,
your
that
coffee-
was my winnings coffee shop cup. But yeah, the way I brew usually is with an AeroPress for all you sticklers for coffee, and I typically will weigh the beans and the milk and the water just so you get the right ratio, every time, because you can make the flavor do a lot of different things and how with the ratio and how long you steep it for and how you stir it and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, here's the coffee cup, Joe.
No, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's got this on the other side too.
Scorpion.
Yes.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
We've got those out in the yard.
I think it's timeless coffee, I think was the thing.
Yes, I can't remember the
So
brew.
yeah, here it had Blackwing and then the coffee logo here. So anyway,
Nice.
this was the cup that came with it.
It's pretty good beans.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. A slight chocolatey note to it, which is pretty good.
Very good. I do.
But I know people that are into espresso, right? And they say that oily beans, like typically when you dark roast a bean, it gets oily looking, right?
Yep.
And I like that for like an AeroPress or something. But for espresso, they say it doesn't work as well.
That's right.
It won't produce a crema on top as well because of the oil.
Yeah.
Even though crema is just foam filled with carbon dioxide and it's bitter, but we still like it for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. I do have to say, several years ago, actually, and I never got around to doing it. I discovered that you can use one of the air type popcorn makers, the old school, where you put the kernels in there and it comes out the little tube.
And it goes all over the floor. Yes.
You can roast coffee beans in there.
Yep, of course, doesn't do much at a time, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I never got around to doing it, but yeah, I have it there. I actually haven't even opened the box yet. So, oh man.
A lot of people start with the whirly pop, the stove top. And that's real common for people that get into roasting their own beans.
Okay. Very cool.
Wait, is Natasha opening a box with a typewriter in it? What are you doing there?
Oh, definitely. I had a open. I didn't want to disturb you guys, but I'm just going to slowly.
Oh no, go ahead. Let's watch this.
Love our unboxing.
Faster than somebody opening a typewriter box.
This is from. Looks like it's from eBay. Is that what I'm seeing there?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Because I can't get to any antique shops around here. I mean, not that they're not open or nothing. It's just my timing is off. So
I just worry that one of these days you're going to unbox one of these things and it's going to be in pieces and we're going to be sad. Is that a Smith Corona 5 series?
Oh, I'm going to surprise you.
No, I can see
Royal Quiet Deluxe.
Royal.
Quiet Deluxe, a tweed case.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks gray on my end. I see.
Kind of yellowish, maybe slightly. Oh.
I'm going to say it's a Krups Dominator.
Ted.
You know what I would hate if I opened up one of these and spiders came out or something. I've seen spider eggs. So
see, that's another story for you, Natasha.
Actually,
I think I might do that. Oh, it's a
tower.
Tower.
Tabulator.
Oh,
it is a Smith Corona, basically.
Well,
and there is a bug in there. It's the butterfly logo.
You've got that.
Oh yeah.
There's no baby doll in the box, eh?
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be creepy.
Yeah,
You are
Looks like
Works, that thing.
Looks like
She
the
just needs a
escaping
new
works.
ribbon.
The carriage, it
Yeah.
needs to be cleaned probably.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm gonna be doing
Came
that.
with the
This
free piece
this
of
gonna
paper.
be our first little experiment with painting. So
Ah.
No.
he said no, I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it looks like it's in
I'm
nice
looking
shape.
at it.
Yeah.
It's a
I
nice
think Ted
cream color.
has a soft spot for tower typewriters.
Now who does?
Well,
Ted.
Oh,
go
you
ahead
don't
and
want me to
paint
repaint
it.
it?
Go ahead and paint it.
So I think, Natasha, you could do the peroxide treatment on the keys, right? That way you could get the keys whitened up.
Yes, definitely. What did
Yeah.
I use? I used simple green, then I go back and do them again. So yeah.
Yeah, there's that peroxide hair product that you put on the keys, and then you wrap it in clear plastic and put it out in the sun, and it'll bleach them white pretty easily.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll look into that.
Retrobreading.
Definitely.
That can degrade.
It's called retrobreading.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Apparently,
Yeah, that's her.
really destructive to the keys, though.
Is it? Yeah.
The peroxide is it?
Over long term, you're shortening the life of that material. Somebody did a massive post, I think it was on Austin Typewriter page,
Oh.
but about the chemistry involved and how it sort of destabilizes the structure and stuff. But they were also like, but if you really want the white keys, that's the way to do
Yeah.
I love it.
I like the style of the tower. Smith Corona is better than Smith Coronas themselves. I just think it's so nicely styled, right?
It's
The
sort of
logo
Yes, it is.
logo.
Yeah.
more Sputnik-y and more mid-century.
Get that ribbon.
Much
That's
better
just
badge.
a mess. But I gotta replace the ribbon anyway. And I'm gonna, guys, I got ribbon from the 50s in, right?
Oh my goodness.
And it was actually from the 50s, and it was wrapped in red cellophane or whatever the plastic was. And I put it in the machine, and it actually still worked because they never opened it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, it worked like it was new.
Wow.
So does
I'm gonna
anybody
refresh
know?
this one.
Does anybody know about the history on Sears Tower? Did they name the typewriter after the building that they used to own, the Sears Tower? Or
Nope,
was the
because
building
tower-
named after the typewriter?
The building was named after the brand.
The
The
brand,
building
okay.
wasn't built until way after the typewriter came around.
Okay.
I think the building was built in the 70s.
Wait, they named the Sears Tower after the Tower brand?
Yeah.
But it was a tower.
That's neat.
But it was actually a tower. That's like saying the brand was building.
It's a visionary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the typewriters came out in 49, and they didn't build the Sears Tower until the 70s. So
And someday we will build a tall building and we will name it after our typewriter.
They named a lot of stuff after had the Tower brand that they sold. I think they had cameras and other things too.
yep, I've got a tower camera.
Nice.
Tower of Power. I have that album.
All right, I'll see y'all on the other side.
Thank you so much, Natasha. And I
No
understand Angela has a typewriter to show us.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go see that.
What about my?
So I'm gonna get it out.
Oh, a standard
There we go.
folding.
Oh.
Wow.
It down now.
Any typewriter.
Has some issues, but I feel like I'm holding a museum piece.
Yeah.
It is a
there you
museum
go.
piece.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was in an auction house that I made sure not to tell any other the collectors about. I didn't want it to disappear. I got it for $76.
Nice.
Smoking.
With all of the fees and taxes, it was $93. But it's got
Still a
this
great price.
weird fabric covering the platen, and it's missing the spools. But I don't know. I don't know what it costs to get one of these things redone. And it's hard to find much information on them because there just weren't that many of them.
That is true.
Repair manual.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I mean, get the Corona 3 repair manual because it's basically
Okay.
the same machine. So
Oh, okay.
there are some differences, but I mean, it's a really simple machine. So
It looks like it.
I
It
definitely
looks
even
like
need
it's
a
naked.
manual.
Yeah, they didn't paint them.
Yeah.
It's aluminum.
Wow.
Yeah, I was excited to find that and to get it. I got it for less than I was willing to pay as well.
That's always a good feeling.
Yeah.
It is a good machine to have in your antique collection.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I'd want to type on one, but
Yeah. One of those that I may just look at and never use. Unlike, I mean, most of mine, I intend to use them, but I don't know, get that far.
It doesn't hurt to have a display piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty one. Hi.
I missed it. What was it? I'm sorry.
I'll get it back up. It's a standard folding typewriter.
Oh, okay.
This was the predecessor of the Corona 3.
I almost got a folding one. I almost did, and I was nervous about
it. Yeah, well, it's very
I
old.
like it. Yeah.
1909. So, yeah.
Yes, I like it.
And the box itself is so cool. Let me show you this box. It's, they said the box was non-functional. I think it's just because they didn't know how to use it.
Yeah, it's purple too. That's my fave.
Well,
Yes.
I'm having a hard time here.
That's okay. I get it. It's beautiful.
Okay, so
Yeah. It's beautiful to me.
This folds up and then this goes down over
Like that.
and it has a latch on each side. I know you can't see
Nice.
this.
Uh-huh.
We can just make it out.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
there you go.
yes.
So it has
Nice.
latches on each side.
Oh, that's
So
neat.
even
Wow.
though this part doesn't function and there's no key, so I wouldn't try to force it anyway. It latches fully on both sides without that lock.
I love that case.
Yeah, and
Me too, yeah.
it's covered in leather, a wooden box covered in leather, and then the inside is velvet.
Yeah, I love that purple velvet.
It's locked now.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. No, there it is.
That's cool.
Very nice.
And did you say if it was functioning or it's just a decoration?
It's partially functional, but it needs lots of adjustments and it doesn't have the spools for the ribbon.
Okay.
Those are, I have to look for some Corona 3 ones at least. So
Yeah.
I like
it's one
that.
of those like I'm a little afraid to work on because it feels valuable. Whereas, other ones you think, if I mess it up, it's, there are plenty more, but that one, there aren't plenty more. They only made over 5,000 of them. And a lot of those were different keyboard layouts for different countries. So I don't know how many were actually in English. So, yeah, I was put on my Facebook page, it's the first typewriter I have where I feel unworthy.
Oh.
It does feel like a museum piece.
It's not true. You are worthy.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Kara, you had your typing prompt. Oh, we don't have audio.
Now?
There
Yes,
you go.
Yes.
Okay, so much for technology, this newfangled technology stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Technology. What's that all about?
So first I want to show you this super cool pin I got from Iron Typewriters.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Nice enamel pin. It's sort of huge, so it's got two things on the back.
Wow.
Wow.
Where did you get it?
What?
Where did you get it?
Iron Fox Typewriters. I got enamel pins for my business, and I showed them on Instagram, and then Ian messaged me and said, "Let's do a bling swap, a swag swap." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get one of yours. You can have mine." Anyway, that was exciting.
Cool.
I think that's my newest typewriter stuff. Oh, and Diane, I got all excited when you were talking about Black Wings because that's my favorite pencil. Here's my little. I wear them down to stubs, and then
Oh.
people, and I know some of you are these people who collect them but don't use them. But I gotta say, I collect them and use them, and then they use up because they're so fun to write with. But
Oh.
okay, here's my prompt. If my typewriter had a superpower, it would be, and this is the machine that I wrote it on.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my favorite charcoal 58 QDL.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And it's actually, I do it a little disservice. So it's actually a perfect machine. Almost perfect. If my typewriter had a superpower, it would be the ability to skip spaces at a single bound. The ability to change left margins on a whim. The ability to channel thoughts and feelings directly from the heart and mind of the human onto the page without judgment or distraction. The ability to bring people and cats together from all walks of life with open minds and humor regardless of apparent external differences. The ability to survive centuries or decades of neglect and still function just fine.
Yay.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. All right, let's see here. We have well, I'm posting it in the chat, but and I forgot to put from YouTube, so it's not me. So we have Colibri joining us. Greetings from Germany to you all. Just a humble DDR GDR typewriter collector, 4 typewriters by now. Then we have Bintasman saying hi folks, and then Bintasman has a question. Why does the SG1 have ventilation slits on the rear? Any ideas?
I know that one.
Go for it.
Because you type so fast that it gets hot in there. And so the heat has to go somewhere. It's such a fast typewriter. Otherwise, the rubber would melt.
Do you think it's just like what am I trying to say?
Design?
A design,
Cosmetics?
yeah. Like purely aesthetic, or?
They might have shared the same parts like body panels with an electric version, perhaps.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Nick C says smoky offices, maybe. That's a good one. Hello to Nick, by the way. He's in the meeting, but is just off camera. That's okay. That's okay.
No, it's not.
Oh,
you got to join us.
I know. Huh? However, people feel comfortable. Now, Mike, I don't think we officially said welcome to you. How's everything?
Everything's fine. We're doing good here. Not a whole lot new to report. I've got one little experiment going on, which is not, it's not very practical, but I'm trying to make some ribbons.
Oh.
And I've seen people make stuff out of stamp pads, and I've seen people make stamp pad ink. So I figured, well, cut out the stamp pad part and make some ink and get probably right to a ribbon. And it's hard to get the formula just right, but I had a little piece about that big that worked pretty well, and I tried to make a longer ribbon and it didn't work. So, but it's basically water-based stuff, water-based paint and glycerin.
Okay.
And that seems to work. I've got some printer's ink, which I might try, and that's of course oil-based. But
So would the glycerin would keep it from drying out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Made some yesterday, and the longer when it kind of splattered, the ink, it just sort of smeared a little bit. And then I tried it again this morning. It was still the same, so it hadn't dried out any overnight.
And what type of material are you using?
Well, it's not a very good one, I don't think, because it's the only ribbon I could find in Joann's fabric that was 1/2 inch. Everything they make is either 3/8 or 5/8. But there's this sort of polyester ribbon that was 1/2 inch, and if you get the ink right, it works all right. But I'm not sure it's ideal. It's kind of stiff.
So I was gonna make a joke about polyester, but I don't remember what decade polyester was big in. Was it the
70s?
70s?
Yeah, 70s. My mom forced me to wear a polyester suit for my kindergarten.
Oh,
But I was the best dressed kid in the room. So
I bet.
I didn't like it. I cried. I hated it.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, Mike,
And you had to have
Mike, I've
wide
actually-
lapels.
Yes, it did. It was a,
yeah.
a powder blue suit with wide lapels. She had me a girl's suit.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh. But I was, when you look back at it when you're grown, you're like, geez, yeah, I was the best dressed kid in the 70s.
But you look good, right?
Yeah, I hated that outfit. Oh.
Oh, what were you gonna say, Bob?
Oh, I was just going to tell Mike I've experimented with this. Printer ink does work when you get like the bulk computer ink or pen ink. It's just missing some of the heavy oils that I've been able to pull out of WD-40. So if you get a mixture of like, I don't know, 10 or 15% WD-40, and then the rest in the printer ink that is like the refill printer cartridge ink, that stuff's really good. It's just really light. Now you can buy just like India ink, but that stuff gets a little pricey. So
it'll dry out fast.
Say what?
That'll dry out too.
Right, exactly. So if you add the bit of WD-40, it really keeps it from drying out. And I've been pretty successful with it. You got to wipe you got to apply it one way and then wipe the ribbon the other way.
Yeah.
But over time you'll find what kind of sponge you like to use. And I was cutting up kitchen sponges and then putting them in between plastic tweezers. But anyways, you can find different ways to do it. And it's not so much about sopping up the extra ink. It's more so about distributing it, making sure it's a nice distribution. So anyway, yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, thanks. This ink is actually letterpress ink that I've got some up down there, which is oil-based ink.
Oh, it's gonna be thick.
I was
very
wondering
thick,
if you take the letterpress ink and cut it with a little glycerin just to make it a little more liquidy,
Yeah.
rather
I might
than
even treat blood linseed oil or something like that. Just
yeah. It's an interesting experiment because I think a lot of us are interested in finding the right ink for re-inking our ribbons, and if you could find the right formula, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the printer ink with 10 or 15% WD-40 works real well for me. So
okay,
but it is a process, and then you're like, well, then you come to find out it wasn't that the ink was just dry. The printer was the printer ribbon. The ribbon was kind of bad. So I kind of stopped doing it, and I just buy the new ribbon in bulk. And I have to look at ribbon as guitar strings. It's okay to have thousands of feet of them in the trash can. I don't even know. But I still think Monk does he does the best with putting the ribbon in the box, spraying it lightly, and then rewind if you have a blue or a purple or some odd color that you want to rejuvenate. Yeah, I've had a lot of luck doing that. But anyway, inking's a lot of fun, that's for sure, and it'll make a quick mess. But
it's a real mess.
I was going to say, I wonder if we could write to the makers of WD-40 and request that they make different colors.
They make pigmented WD-40 for typewriter ribbons.
Well, I was also curious about silicone lubricant spray rather than WD-40. Because silicone might stay liquidy longer because WD-40 will dry out, and also it has a paraffin wax base to it. I wonder if silicone would be better.
Yeah,
try it out.
A lot of it's kerosene, I think, is one of the main components. So, but that'll dry out real fast.
Yeah.
If you use the WD-40 trick to revive a ribbon, but it's a dual color, like black and red, will that work?
It works. You get a little cross bleed between the two colors. So you get something that's the red gets a little darker. But if the biggest problem is when you're wiping it down, you don't want to, bunch the ribbon up so that the colors mix together. But
yeah,
it works. I mean, you're kind of second handing the ribbon, so it's not going to be great, but.
Calibri says, nice text, Care. So, yeah. Anyone else have a typing prompt? Or questions or comments or?
I have a question.
Yes.
For Bob. Is that a rain cross in the background?
Oh yeah, I'm from Riverside, homie.
Yeah.
Gotta keep
Well,
it cool and represent.
I thought I recognized it, that Gregory had included that on the letter he sent me. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's very Riverside. A local artist made it. I was able to purchase it. And that's oil, some type of oil. It's some type of oiling. Anyways, Gregory and I will have rain crosses all over the place. We buy them in bulk. Everyone sells them everywhere we go. So, I'm sure Gregory has a few $100s in rain cross art around his house like I do. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very Riverside. All our light poles are covered in them at the top. Riverside. It's Riverside adopted the rain cross. We even have a large rain cross attached to a bridge going over our road. I got to attach that rain cross, and it's it's probably 8 feet. You know, the one going over the White County Bridge over. That isn't. I think is that Olivewood? No. I think that's Lime there. Anyways, right off 14th Street. But anywho, rain crosses are everywhere. We love them. I thought about incorporating them into my Typewriter Muse logo, but I got Lucas to do that artwork for me. So I'm having some stickers made right now to put on some other products I want to release in the typewriter world. And I'm having a real little itty bitty sticker made so I can put it on the underside of typewriters that I work on. I'm real excited to do that. I hold dismay towards, it's nice, but some of the, they'd put stickers this big right on the front of the machine saying, Bill's typewriter repair fixed this. And I just don't want to do. I think it'd be great to. And Bill, no offense, I should have said Bob. Like, but
that sounds like something a Bill guy would do.
Yeah, or a Bob guy. Probably more so a Bob guy. Now, if we start talking Joe, then we're really in trouble. But,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I think I think that artwork is very important in our worlds, and I'm working very hard to learn and understand. My whole house is covered in my aunt's artwork, and it's all artwork that's hung at the Riverside Artist Museum, the RAM we call it, the museum that we're doing the typewriter display at. So I love artwork. I have a ton of it. I wish I had more wall space. So
yeah.
I don't have wall space for this, so I put it next to my typewriters, right? What do you?
That works.
Yeah, it works really well.
I'm sorry. So we have Joe was typing on a Groma Calibri, and now we have Calibri joining us.
Yes. Yes.
How are you, Calibri?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
I see a couple Calibris stacked up and behind you there by the wall. Looks like
just two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Colibri Luxus, Colibri, the Gromina.
Yes.
The predecessor of the Colibri, and Erica.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
It's I can short tell my story. In January this year, I watched the movie The Lives of Others.
Yes.
It's a German movie, so it's basically what I could watch and understand. And in that movie, there was the Colibri, and I always liked the idea of typewriters and mechanical machines to do something. And by the time in January this year, I then thought of maybe watch and look around if I find a Colibri. And I was also looking at YouTube to get an idea of how a Colibri actually works and how to use it. And the first video in YouTube I found was the one from Joe. And then I was sure I want one, but looking on eBay and other pages like that, I was a bit disappointed because the prices were 200 euros and more. So I ended up getting the Gromina, which only costs 60 euros. But it was really a good typewriter. I was
pretty
really
typewriter
positive.
too.
The Colibri itself, my wife bought the one that I fell in love with, but I had to wait until my birthday, so she gave it to me.
Oh.
Yeah, and while I was researching about the Colibri, I got the information that there was also a successor, the Colibri Luxus. And the Colibri Luxus was the last model of the company. Then it was shut down. And I just have the Colibri. Or maybe one or some of you know this. The case is horrible. The zipper is
yeah.
Oh,
so pretty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I like the colors.
Yeah. I was not expecting that.
Oh yeah.
But the Luxus is much better. It's looking very similar, but it has a lot more features. And this zipper is even worse.
Oh boy.
Sadly, it's not the
Oh,
same beautiful color, but you have
ribbon selector. Yeah.
Ribbon selector, touch control.
Oh, nice.
And it pops out, and popping out also means the
unlocks carriage.
Unlocks carriage. Yeah.
Ah.
So putting it in and lock it again.
Nice.
Wow,
Very
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are beautiful machines.
Yeah.
And it works really good.
Excellent.
Now, other than the price, are those easy to find there?
The Colibri Luxus is really hard to find, and it was quite. I was quite lucky. I found it on eBay Kleinanzeigen. It's a spin-off of eBay.
No, it's just on the Civic.
It's like a local marketplace of eBay, and there one guy put it in and only named it Colibri because he didn't know it was a Colibri Luxus.
Wow.
And so it was a freshly put into eBay Kleinanzeigen, and
he nabbed it.
I hadn't the money, but I thought I don't know if I would any time in my life again could get a Colibri Luxus. So
exactly.
I
You had to jump on it.
Yeah, I had no choice.
Yep.
So Colibri, are those German keyboards machines? Those one you have?
All are German.
Yes.
And the Gromina, it has no zipper.
Right.
Much better case.
But it's
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's flatter than the Colibri, actually. Smaller.
Yes.
Yes. And I would guess it's also a bit lighter.
Wow.
That is compact.
Yes.
So how can I smuggle that out of your country?
And the Gromina, as far as I know, only in this color.
Okay.
Didn't see any other color.
I've seen one in maroon actually, but it was American import. They didn't import many of the Graminas, but
And maybe it was repainted.
mhm. No, this was a factory job, but it was a pretty machine, beautiful machine.
How many of those are in the typewriter database? Do you know?
Oh, I could find out.
The Gumina I put in the typewriter database. The others I have to do now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But I'm just preparing to move. So not the time now.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, those are beautiful typewriters.
The big one is also a bit rare.
Ooh, Erica.
Erica with a white carriage.
Oh yes.
We have 13 Graminas.
Okay, 13. Okay.
And I see blue and maroon as optional colors.
Oh.
Like a lighter
Yeah,
green.
it's
okay.
Three color ribbon support, but I've never seen a ribbon with 3 colors.
Right. That's a nice machine.
And tabulator.
Yes.
And really light typing. You need no force to push a button.
Yeah. That's the opposite of my Smith Corona Sterling, the 60s era one. It has a very, very heavy type. It's just doing my typing prompt today. It took some energy. Oh man. Yeah. And unfortunately, the touch adjustment on it doesn't affect anything.
No. So Colibri, I was curious as to what you use your typewriters for. Do you write with them very often, like letters or things like that?
Well, I thought I would be. I thought I would do. But until now, I just typed maybe 4 or 5 journal entries.
Okay.
That's good.
About life, about how my daughter grows up or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And despite that, I started a YouTube channel in German for typewriters, and there I did a kind of study where I try to compare typing on a typewriter and typing on the computer in terms of creativity.
Yes.
If there is a difference, and I did 10 episodes, 5 on the Colibri Luxus and 5 on the computer. But at the end, I felt there is, at least in my position, no difference in the creativity. But maybe it could get better on the typewriter if I get used to type faster. On the computer, I can use all 10 fingers, but when I try on the typewriter,
you need to build up your strength.
Yeah, I have to practice.
Yeah.
And then maybe it makes a difference, but at least it makes more fun typing on a typewriter.
Yes, it does.
Definitely.
Very good. Well, thank you for showing those. Those are amazing.
Thank you.
Those are very pretty machines.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very cool. Let's see. Does anybody have a typing prompt or any questions or comments?
We're just going to mention this. Let's see if I can get it in the.
We love show and tell.
Oh no, I'm trying to hold the iPad up so I can see it, and I don't. Where is that? There it is.
There we go.
I see it. Olivetti.
Yeah, that's an East German machine.
Nice.
It's a letter 36 electric.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, bought that new in 1978.
Oh wow.
You know, unfortunately, I think I traded Olympia SF for it, but
it made sense at the time, huh?
It made sense at the time, yeah. The only thing I don't like about this one is the carriage return is so, strong that it twists the typewriter. You have to adjust it.
Yeah. That's beautiful though. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I had it for a long time. It kind of got gummed up, and it was I had one of those correcting ribbons in it, so I had to clean a lot of that out.
Yeah.
Another seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. I have to tell you, when these typewriters, they have like a two-tone effect to the overall typewriter, and then they have like one red button. There's just something about that really makes it pop,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a keyboard release, which if you hit two keys at once, it'll lock up, and you have to press that button to unlock it.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. And it still works well?
Yeah. I mean, it's I had to clean it up, and I got the manual on it, the service manual, but it doesn't say anything about lubrication, so I didn't. So, but it seemed like there was some grease that had come out of it. But
Yeah.
the motor sometimes squeals, but I think it always did.
It could be the belts are slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
They're tooth belts.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so this is probably like a Nakajima made, a Japanese made inside.
No, it's Olivetti made.
It is Olivetti. Okay.
It was made in East Germany.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it works, and it's it's one of those things that if I liked it too much, why'd I buy all these other typewriters and stuff?
I know, huh?
But it's nice and it's electric. So.
Yeah, it's a very efficient writing tool, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Puts a lot of letters down quickly and easily.
Yeah, it works good, and that and everything's nice and even, and no variation in the.
Right. So you said you bought it new in the 70s or 80s?
1978.
78, and you probably used it in college or something, or?
Well, it was post college. I did go to grad school and use it in there, but it was I was looking for a job, and the Olympia, whatever it was, I know it's an Olympia, but I'm not sure which model. It tended to double strike on some keys, and I never could get that to not do it, even though it's supposedly, how heavy you hit it that makes it do that. But so I did, it bothered me seeing those double strike letters. I'm sure nobody else cared, but
Yeah.
So so I got this. I'd like to have the Olympia back, but it's gone. It might have been a Traveler, might have been an SF, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you could always get another one.
Yeah, I'll look for one of these days.
Yeah. I have a 50s era SF, which I loved. Well, I still love it actually, but I had to have once I saw the picture, I had to have the Ian Fleming one, which is the 60s era, the two-tone one. So I got one of those as well. So, and I lucked out that both of those worked pretty darn well. So
which do you prefer? You prefer the older SF or the newer Traveler style?
That's a good one. Well, I like the look of the 60s era more.
Yeah.
But I think the 50s era might work slightly better.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a side-by-side comparison actually.
That'll be a fun video. You should do.
Yeah. I do need to post more typewriter videos actually, because the ones I've been posting are fountain pens and paper and that kind of thing. So I need to get back.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
To quote Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I forgot to tell you guys, I did invest in some nice Blackwing pencils. I decided it was time. So I think I got a 12 pack for $40 or something.
So you joined the cult of Blackwing.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they don't roll off the table is worth it.
Yes.
In my book, really.
And having a good eraser, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. That's been really good. Did anyone see my post yesterday? I ended up picking up 10 typewriters from a guy, and I'll tell you all how I did it, because I know a lot of you don't live here, but this guy posted on OfferUp one typewriter. He had sold one thing on OfferUp, but I think he put his name as Typewriter Tim or Ted, Typewriter Ted, maybe, right?
Tim, I think. I saw that.
Yeah. And so, you know, messaged him and, well, do you have any other typewriters? Yeah, I'm getting out of typewriters. I just had back surgery. Okay, be right there. So, you know, showed up with a pile of cash, and needless to say, he had a lot of everything's pre 41 that I picked up. So, and some of it's some really rare, kind of weird stuff. I'm very excited to slowly but surely. A lot of it's foreign too, and he was a college professor that had a good time putting together machines for kids, you know. He did give me these cool oiling cans. I got 2 of these. If you guys have ever seen these, I was able to clean them and fill them and put a gasket in the top. But
oh, cool.
Anyways, I'll have to show you. It pumps out just a ton of oil. Like this Hermes part. I wonder if you guys can see. Like you press this thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you got to kind of just turn it upside down, and you just have to push on it. If you actually pump it, it's just a ton of it comes out. more than would ever be needed.
Yeah.
That was cool. So I got 2 of those.
Cool.
And yeah, all these machines. He had a bunch of onion paper. I got a bunch of onion paper from him. So you just never know. I just put together that, well, this guy wants to sell typewriters and it looks like he's only sold 1. Let me give him a call. And he was real happy to get rid of everything in a package deal, you know. So slowly but surely I'll be putting it together. I've got this great Hermes 2000 I'm redoing right now for a customer. And this was part of the lot I pulled out of the Carolinas. And then there's also, I got 2 folding Corona 3s. So I'm excited. I need to video chat Joe and show him those. I'd be real happy to get one of those in his hands. I got a red one that has the pharmacy, the medical, you know, terms, and then I've got a simple or regular black one. I mean, they're Corona folding 3s, so they're all pretty cool, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it all works out.
Well,
But that's
let's
the fun.
chat. Yeah, let's chat.
Yeah, finding ways to we will chat. I get to chat with my friend Joe soon. It's exciting.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, of course. It looks like we have Indro joining us.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions or comments or typing prompts?
I gotta run, you guys. I just want to say bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Care.
See you next week.
All right.
Bye.
How are you, Indro?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, you look good. You look like, yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, you are kicking back. That's funny. Excellent.
I saw you still online, so I thought, oh, let's have a look.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. You're always welcome.
All right.
Especially in a hammock.
Aha.
That's funny. Anything new in your world?
No, I was looking for some typewriters. I found the Corona, the one it's called a Power Writer, I think, with the batteries. No, it's
Oh, yeah.
cordless, but it was too expensive, so I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that could be a good one for a holiday.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Any other questions or comments or typing prompts? Anything else like that?
I'm going to jump in and say, have a good day, everybody. I'm going to jump offline. And
Okay.
It was a lot of fun talking with everybody and
Yeah.
hearing your pieces, your stories that you wrote.
I
And
know.
It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, definitely.
hopefully we'll see you next week. We're on next week, right?
You know what? Actually, I forgot. It is Father's Day.
Right.
And we're actually going to, instead for next week, there's going to be a postcard exchange. So be sure and check out that event. It has the details in the event on typepals.com.
Right.
So we'll do that instead for next week. So no meeting. but then the following week we'll have another meeting.
Okay,
So.
very good. We'll see you in a couple weeks then, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
Joe.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
Bye, Joe. What do you know?
Bye. What do you know, Joe?
Bye.
Go, Joe.
So Ted, how are the feet coming along?
Oh, I'm just making molds right now.
Oh, the molds, yeah.
Just poured. I did one that I finished up this morning, and then I started a pour on the second one, and I need to make 4.
Yeah.
I've got I need to make them 4 at a time.
Exactly.
And then I've got a client up in Denver who wants to buy a whole bunch of them. So
wow,
I will be making feet most of this week.
Yeah.
You should make special feet that look like feet.
Somebody's already done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, somebody printed up some 3D feet, green little monster feet that they put on. Underwood 5. I forgot who has that, but
I saw those. Yeah,
I saw the pictures of it.
Yeah,
quite inventive.
Yeah. Now, have you really streamlined your process that it's efficient for you, I guess?
Oh no. No, I'm still I have to hand make them all and
yeah,
because of the curing time, I have to do a little bit now and then wait for 6 hours or 8 hours and do a little bit later on. And sometimes when I'm actually making the feet, I have several molds out, so I'll mix up a bunch of the rubber and pour a bunch of the molds.
Okay.
So I can make a dozen at a time of different kinds.
Yeah.
But then of course that I'm not making any specific orders. Just making as many feet as I can and then storing them, and hopefully somebody will want them eventually.
Excellent.
What feet are you making?
The Hermes baby, the 1963 and later.
Oh, I don't have any of those anymore.
Anymore? You had them?
I've only seen a Hermes baby in the wild once, and I thought the metal seemed flimsy.
They are pretty flimsy. The earlier ones, yeah.
Oh.
They're quite thin metal, but
okay.
The mechanics inside are quite firm. They're pretty good.
Okay.
Good Swiss engineering.
Yeah. What's the difference between a baby and a rocket?
It's basically a naming scheme. Rockets mostly came out in the United States, and babies were mostly European. But there's, some of the babies came into America, and it was kind of a mix, but it was mostly a marketing thing for different markets.
Okay.
But I just rebuilt a baby rocket or a rocket baby. I don't even know. Crossover. It's the weirdest thing, man. It's so crazy. Whatever works. Though.
Yeah.
I always figured that the rocket might have had like tabs or something like that.
Nope.
The baby didn't know.
Just a different nameplate. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'm pleased to say that I finally finished my dental work.
Nice.
on my Smith Premier 2.
Very good. Oh yeah, and last week you were working on cleaning the keys on
the key tops. It was the actual.
Oh, is that one?
The actual key tops of this one.
Okay.
But this week it was the actual slugs themselves.
Yeah.
Because I started to type a letter to Bill, and it's like I'm looking at the type thinking, well, I got the new ribbon. The new ribbon looks great, but the type doesn't. It's like it needs a serious clean. So I took the time to do a pretty good clean, although I'm not sure if I really got all the rust off of some of these slugs. It makes me wonder what the heck was this thing sitting in, but who knows? In the place where I found it, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of rust. It's just enough that it's like, okay, get the wire brush out and just get it off of there, and just trying to wake up the mechanism right now. So
wake up. I have a question for you, Gregory.
Yes.
If you want to make me big.
Yes.
I got these pictures from you, and one of them is your organ that
Yes.
you recorded on.
Yes.
But I don't know what this one is. Is this like the Eye of Sauron or something?
Let's see. Let me get it. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. It's an actual object.
Okay. So I will add myself to the screen here.
Make yourself big.
Oops. All right. Here we are together.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So you may remember this bottle from my message in a bottle typing prompt.
Bundaberg.
So the picture was taken with the Polaroid Snap, which is of course a
Zinc.
Yeah, the Zinc instant camera. So I just aimed the bottle at the sun and shot up through the bottom of the bottle, and it was a very nice effect.
Well, that's what we get right there. So
yeah, and then I put Monk on there.
That was interesting. I was curious about that. I didn't quite know what that was.
Yeah. I had
the Eye of Sauron or something.
Yeah.
He put a curse on me.
The effect actually ended up better than I thought it would be. So
it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
I thought you would see my fingers holding the bottle or something, but you couldn't. So
nope. I was very confused.
Yeah. I got very creative with that box of stuff I sent you. So
you did. I was very impressed by all the stuff, and you sent me a keychain and stickers, which I put on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, put stickers.
Oh, nice.
My sticker machine.
Gregory, I was wondering, are you any more proficient now with the steno recording there, the court reporting?
Oh. Oh, well, okay. So the first challenge is I need to get the machines cleaned up because, well, actually, ideally I need to get some of the paper first, which you can get on eBay. So that's not much of a challenge, but I haven't done it yet. But the second challenge is I cut a strip of paper to the proper width, and I put it through the machine, and that machine is filthy, and the ink is like, I don't know what kind of ink it is, but it's super inky and oily, and it kind of gets all over the paper. You can type, and it prints well enough, but it's super dirty. So I need to get in there and clean it out and try and make it a more pleasant experience. And then I'm going to dive in more to the actual typing. But it was funny because I had one of them sitting in the garage, and we have our laundry in there. And so my wife went in there and she said, is that a steno machine? I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh no, not another thing.
What fresh hell.
Hey,
Yeah.
Greg, I think I stumbled. I think I have some books on stenotypy.
Ooh.
I know I can't because that I recently found this this letter that I sent to Ted, or I scanned and sent to Ted, and it was actually in a stenotypy book. And the cover letter with Daryl Rear's autograph on it. So I wouldn't, this was part of that estate in Jacksonville, Illinois, which is actually where this machine I've been working on, it actually came from there too. And so, I as I was unpacking my moving boxes a couple weeks ago, because I'm getting sick of looking at them. It's like I've been here for more than a year now. Get rid of all the movers boxes. I'm down to just a few. It just requires me to get a step ladder to get up to the shelves with the others on it. But I had found some of the books from that estate. Of course, now everything's piled in that workroom. It is what it is at this point, because I haven't decided where to put what books yet. Although, excuse me, all of them are all the bookshelves are actually in the basement. So it requires me to drag them down there. I really should have had the movers move all the boxes with books, but unfortunately the boxes were really not labeled as to what was in them because the moving company really did most of the packing. Because I was too overwhelmed to do it, and it was just one of those things, just get me the hell out of here.
So now you have boxes of surprises.
Well, I did. I actually found a couple of books I'd been looking for, and they were from 1894 and 1871.
Wow.
Yeah, and neither of them are on. One's like the 1871 one is condensed U.S. history, which is actually quite interesting because the way they refer to like the Pilgrims and whatnot that's kind of how we refer to the Civil War today. Meaning, oh, this is just like 150 years ago or whatever it was. But let me show you this.
I see lots of blank walls that could really use bookshelves.
I know, huh?
Leaned up against them.
Well, actually, I want to get some short shelves like I have in the living room, the Metro shelves for all the portable machines that are in here.
Yeah, so you got stuff on the floor and you need shelves to put that stuff on.
I do, but I anyway. I haven't gotten that far, Ted. I'm just happy I found this book. I mean, how often do you see a title page like this?
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, they don't make them like this anymore.
No.
Nope.
It's like, yeah, they just don't. It's like, the dude actually wrote in it, and it's like 1906.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, you just don't see books like this anymore. And I get a kick out of the illustrations.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like I was really getting to the point where I'm like, man, I hope I find this book. I'm gonna have a cow if I if it didn't make the move with me. And it's just weird. I just think it's cool looking.
You could have a cow if it didn't make the move, huh?
Yeah, if it didn't make the move. Yeah, here's the condensed U.S. history.
Oh.
And it's obviously in not so great. I have typewriter ink on my fingers. Well, that's what happens when I'm cleaning with a fresh ribbon in the way.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
1871. It's like, that's pretty cool. And it's like I have yet to actually look up this name. This book was actually local, and they did a nice drawing in the front of it.
Wow.
But yeah, this person was apparently from somewhere around here, and I want to look up, his name sometime and see if I can't find it. But oh gee, more paper to put away. So yeah, Ted. Actually, I was curious for Bob as to how many typewriters he could fit on that shelf and how wide the shelf was. Because I think what I have out in the living room is like 42 inches wide, long.
Long?
I
How
guess.
deep?
18.
Oh, yeah, it's plenty.
Well, it's that, and that's why I have the standards out there, but I'm to the point where I need something in here, and I was thinking I'd get another one of those just so I don't cover up the electrical outlet, which is on the other. I have two. Actually, I might have three in here, maybe. I have at least two in here. But I need to get these portables off the floor, and that's kind of like I almost hit buy yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was Friday. But and then I was thinking, well, but what am I putting on there, and how much do I have, and will one more shelf do it? I still have space on that shelf out there, but I'm aware that I still have machines over at the typewriter repair shop.
Mm-hmm. Well, with portables, you can cram quite a few of them in. I've got
Oh yeah.
The shelves I have are just like really small IKEA ones, and I can get about 6 portables on each shelf.
Do they
if you
hold?
set-
Does it hold, or do the shelves bend, or?
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, they are kind of bendy, but
That's why I keep going for these Metro shelves. They aren't going to bend, and I can roll them around if I get to
Yeah.
casters. And
well, I also like when you put together these cheap IKEA shelves, they come with the little nubs that you kind of plug into holes, and you just set the shelf on top of them. And I kind of reinforce that. I'll put screws in there and reinforce it. But it means the sides of my shelves aren't really pretty because it's these screw heads over sticking out of everywhere. But
you're going for the industrial look.
I'm going for my typewriters aren't going to fall down look.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can fit an awful lot of portables because they come in cases. They're very self-contained. And they'll sit on their tails.
Yeah.
I have this IKEA.
Oh, you muted yourself.
She doesn't care. She doesn't want to talk to us.
Sure, I care. This is the IKEA shelf that I have for my portables that do not have cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anytime I have a portable that doesn't have a case, I get really this bug up my butt to go to the thrift stores and look for cases.
I know, right?
And I just I just can't stand not having a case for a portable.
Actually, the green Futura does have a case. The case just stinks, and it's outside in the garage. I haven't cleaned it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just to the point where, okay, I've almost unpacked all the boxes. That's really all I'm caring about. And although I'm going to give Ted a plug, this is the greatest book I've ever seen. I love this.
Yeah, Mare's is good.
I have that one.
That's good reference.
Yeah, it is.
From 1909.
I love your little story about the Smith Premier that got dunked in the water, and then they pulled it out, and then there was one that was in the Boer War, and I got such a kick out of reading that little section. I'm like, okay, where's that machine? I want to see that one. What was the serial number?
Yeah. That's a good one because he was writing in 1909, just immediately after all those early 1800 machines were on the market. He was testing them. So it's a very, very good firsthand look at the early machines. And very, very detailed.
Yeah.
So if you're into the early machines, then that's definitely a book to get.
You okay, Marvin? Good. Kelsey, were you wanting to say something? I see.
Well, I was just going to say, did anyone see that Smith Premier #1 that was on the Goodwill? I don't know if it was last week or it was while I was on vacation, so I missed it. But
I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah, just down in Eugene, and I was like, "Don't put it in the mail. Somebody get it local. It's going to get ruined."
I know.
I thought of you, Diane, when I saw that.
I did not see it. I do have one of those in the living room. It's
so pretty.
I have a slug that needs to go back in it. I'm not sure how. I haven't figured. I'm trying to give the local repair shop time to get through their piles before I go over there and say, "Hey, can you help me get this in here?" And then can you solder it or whatever they did? Because it's like it. I got the spare part. Because it's actually the slug itself came out of the type bar. And so I got the slug from Greg up in Connecticut, Food X, I guess, anyway. close enough. Anyway, so he was disassembling. I guess he's like parted out of Smith Premier 1, and so I got the slash type slug because it was the slash type slug that was missing on mine. I don't remember it being missing, but it was by the time I fiddled with it, and it's like, well, poop. Kind of like the Smith Premier 3 that I have. That one's been over at the shop for a while. It was missing. It had a broken type bar. It was literally broke off in the middle. It's like you swing it up and there's nothing there. It's like there's like this much of the type bar there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he managed to find a 3/4 type bar on whatever machine, and he sent it to me. So it's a 3/4 type bar, but the thing is, it's one of these things I would love to give it a shot, but I'm only willing to give it a shot if I'm sitting over there at the repair shop. It's like, yeah, this requires taking off this carriage, and it's like, I know it's not as simple as I think it is, obviously. But yeah, unfortunately, that type bar is right underneath. I moved my fingers and I touched this touchpad on this Mac, and it just, the whole screen just went off this. It's like it went off. Like, what? I don't understand these things. It's like I was playing with my my PC back here yesterday. I was just not having a good day with it either, and I'm like, seriously. But anyway, so yeah, the 3/4 type bar on this basket, it's naturally located right underneath where the carriage goes over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I can't act. It's like, if it was on this section, boy, I'm doing the hand gestures. If it was on the part, if the key was on the part that the ribbon went over, theoretically, I might be able to get it out without a bunch of fuss, but where it is, the whole carriage has to come off. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
A party.
Yeah, that's pretty much why it would be a party over at the typewriter repair shop.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
In other words, yeah, we need a clean surface, and this place, I don't think they know the meaning. They don't have clean surfaces. Let me put it that way. They do know the meaning of clean surfaces, but they don't have clean surfaces. So I'm not going to give them grief. They just ordered a couple more Smith Premier ribbons from Baco for me Friday or Thursday, because I went over there. It's like I talked to him on the phone, and it's like, oh, and it's like I'm out on the road driving home. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell him I need to order a couple more ribbons, because it's like I'm actually using up my stock.
I thought Zoom was supposed to remove those sounds.
People blowing their noses? No.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Sorry, I forgot to mute.
No, it's okay. You said we're informal here.
It's okay, Marvin.
Yeah, you have to ask the speaker if you can blow your nose first.
Yes. Before we wrap up here, I do want to invite Colibri to, if you have an interest in exchanging letters at typepals.com, you can sign up for free, and you'll have access to the member directory, and you can exchange letters with people. So if that interests you at all, feel free to sign up for it. And
yeah, I was also looking for something like that.
Yeah.
So I will join.
Yeah, it's free. So.
And I have a question for all of you. Do you have any hints how to keep control of the typewriter collecting addiction to not end up with a shelf or a room full of shelves of typewriters.
If you can see behind me, you can see that my answer would be no.
Yeah. I was aware that maybe you are not the right people to ask this question.
We are not the right people to ask that question.
We're what are called enablers. We encourage buying more typewriters, and yeah. So
you're doomed.
You know, with the way the prices go, you know, it does become a little more tricky to add typewriters to the collection. But as we've also discovered, you know, there's still deals out there where you can get typewriters pretty darn cheap. So
here in Germany, we also have some like eBay Kleinanzeigen and such things where often people also give their typewriters away for free.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that are mostly some typewriters where you have to put some love into it to make it work again.
Here's a thing that you'll find out is once you get to a certain point, you have 10 or so typewriters, and people start knowing that you're doing it. People will start just bringing typewriters to you and giving them to you. You have to look out for that. That's something that will happen if you're not careful.
So I should keep them secret.
Yeah.
And don't tell anybody.
Yeah. If you want to keep the number down, then yes, definitely keep them secret.
Okay.
Because once it is known, people will seek you out, and they will want to unload typewriters onto you.
Yeah, like Dan was mentioning earlier, he mentioned it in his meeting at work, and they started offering him typewriters.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh man.
I have to say real quick, this came while I was gone, so I'm super excited to use it. Thank you.
Such a nice looking book.
I have to confess, I also got.
Yeah. There you go.
And maybe. Yeah, unfortunately, the Royalite wasn't out when I ordered these, so.
It's out now, so you can.
It is now, yeah. Yep.
You got some reading ahead of you.
I do. I've
prepared.
got some stuff I want to fix on these, so I'm excited.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And like for me, even though I'm not about to do most of the repairs in there, it's really fascinating just looking through it and learning about the machine and how it works and looking at the typefaces and so even in that regard, they're well worth the price. So
you can learn a lot.
You do a great job on those, Ted.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we're gonna end up. Yes. Do you have something, Marvin?
Would you mind if no, that was stupid. That was a stupid question. What length of letter would you prefer if I sent you a letter to not waste your time?
Honestly, it can be any length. I have pen pals that write one fairly short letter or one fairly short page. I have others that do like 5 pages. So, and I absolutely love reading the letters. So I would say go for it. If you want to write a 10-page letter, go for it. I will read it and enjoy it.
No, if you remember, if you've watched Lenore Fenton, she says that if a letter is more than 1 page, it's better to send it in a different letter.
Yeah.
Traditional etiquette.
Yes. Yeah, there's those antique books that are about letter etiquette and about keeping letters brief. But this is I think a different a different kind of letter where we want to hear more, you know, we want to see more type pages. And one thing that is interesting, one of my pen pals, for every page, he uses a different kind of paper. And he has papers that he got from his 2 trips to India. So he has some really interesting handmade papers. Some of them have embedded plant fibers, and even, I think one even had a flower embedded in it, and pretty amazing stuff. So you know, you can get creative. I sometimes I change the paper. Sometimes I'll just, on each page I'll use a different typewriter. I've done that too, so it keeps it interesting.
Well, we definitely don't want too much creativity in our letters. That would be, you know, that would be against the rules or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know, whatever you want to write or whatever you want to send, just do it, and we will love it. Yeah.
I mean, when writing to my superior in the museum, you know, I still end with the traditional ending of "your obedient servant." But I think it shows respect.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. That's a very cool perspective. I had never thought of being quite so official, I guess. That's very cool. And you said you're 15, is that right?
Yes, I'm 15. I'm turning 16 this October.
Oh, okay.
Happy
My
birthday.
goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It's the age of my son.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just incredible that you're doing all this at that age. That's pretty amazing. So
I think Kelsey and I were born on the same day. It's incredible we do anything at our age.
That's
I just want to go take a nap all the time.
Yeah.
I just want to sleep.
Yeah. I feel that way after the drive up from San Diego. We did it in one day.
Oh, that's
Oy, oy, oy.
good.
4
Yeah.
a.m. and we got in
700.
about 10:30. Whew.
Yeah, I've done that a few times on my motorcycle. I really enjoy it. You're in Portland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy it up there. My cousin's up there, so I need to get up there probably next year. That'll be fun. But if you're ever in Southern California and you find something,
well, that's where we were, but it was such a quick, I saw, you know, you guys were over that way as we were flying by, but you know, we had 2 dogs with us, and it was pretty insane.
We love dogs. Bring them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg loves dogs. I have a dog now, believe it or not. So so I'm in the loving dog. He keeps wandering around me, wondering what's going on. It's really cute. So I'm learning to be a dog owner. It's been a lot of fun. Well, good for you. I'm glad you had a good trip. I'm real excited to see in the future how people travel with their typewriters as well. Did you take a typewriter with you, Kelsey?
I did. I took my I call him Zeffy. Took my Zephyr with me.
Zephyr.
Yeah. Didn't get a lot of use just because we were doing so much. They just bought this house right before Christmas, actually, and this is the first time we've been able to get down there. So they had a list. We were replacing gates. We were, you know, drywalling over doorways, and like I said, I was the mud and tape person, and we painted everything. And yeah, we were there. I don't know how long it was, 12 days, and it was go the whole time. So I typed a little bit, but I did try to work on her Royalite, but didn't have really a lot of time for that either. And I have to replace the drawband, so I brought it home with me. So went with 1, came back with 2.
See, now you have to give the book.
Yeah, I know, right? I do. Yeah.
Well, I do the same thing. Sometimes I leave on a trip without a typewriter just to see what I pick up along the way and bring home with me. So
yeah,
good for you. I'm glad. Is this a rental property, or are you moving down south here?
No. This was my daughter's house.
I understand.
Yeah. So she's down there, and this is their first house. So we hadn't gotten a chance to go down and see it, because it was like we were going to go in January, and then they called and had fevers, so we turned around and came back. because gotta be careful right now.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but
Well, I really
anyway.
enjoyed Marvin's question earlier. It's very exciting how I think as far as international goes, this is as international as it gets. Gregory's been able to reach out to people all over the world, and we're very fortunate to have this meet up and chat. It's great to talk about even on our little left coast of these United States. And there's, Marvin over there in a whole other country, and
Exactly.
Gregory and everyone else.
Cool.
The marvels of modern Muggle technology.
Yes.
Right. As we talk about typewriters.
Well, guys, I have to take off. So
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And I think we're actually going to end here. It's just about 12, just about the 4-hour mark. So
Wow, it's getting really dragged out.
yeah.
Gregory, I signed up for type calls. I need approval.
Oh, okay. I will do that.
Now,
In fact,
now it's your turn.
right now. Let me do it right now.
On air.
On air even.
On air.
Where is it?
He's gonna do it on a phone even.
Yeah. And searching. Whoa, there's 3 requests.
Oh boy.
You're popular.
We're up to 55 members now.
Wow.
And those 3 are just from today because I approved some earlier. Yeah. So Martin, Peter, and who's the third one? Third one is Olaf. And yeah. Very cool. So whichever one of those you are, you're now approved.
Typewriter Club Live, the international meeting place for all things typewriters.
Yeah,
Thank you, Gregory.
Yes.
Also, responding to an earlier question by whoever asked that, if I don't bring my typewriter, the question on traveling with typewriters, if I don't bring my typewriter, I can't work.
No.
There you
That's the
go.
axiom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep, it's a good one. I'm real tired. I travel on a motorcycle, Marvin, and so I always have a typewriter on my motorcycle. A lot of other traveling writers who write about their motorcycle adventures like I do bring laptops. That makes no sense to me. You can't use a laptop in the middle of nowhere, so I'm very confused by this. So I just bring a small Skywriter everywhere with me. But anyways, we'll have to see what the future is now that we're back to traveling and traveling typewriters. So
Yep. I see Indro is out of his hammock.
He has returned.
Yeah.
Just in time for the end.
Yep.
Well, I have to go actually because
Did you get something? Oh, what is this?
He's getting a haircut.
that's the Dutch. We are in the European Championship.
Oh. Good luck.
Yeah, it's the first time in 7 years that they qualified for it. So after
wow.
3 times finals of the World Championship, so now it's a new chance for the European Championship.
Wow.
Yay, football.
Yeah, it's the first we have an audience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, those aren't cardboard cutouts?
Yeah, I think 20,000 people, and Corona is going way down now.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Well, enjoy the game.
Yeah, well.
I hope you win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, this is an easy match. It's against Ukraine. So.
Oh,
those
okay.
bastards. The Russians, they're Russians, all Russians, Russia. No.
I don't know if the Ukrainians would agree with that.
Yeah, I know.
No, they're not.
Oh no.
But I think that, well, is it a record? This episode of Typewriter Club Live?
It
must be
very
like
long,
4 hours.
It's very close. We're about 6 minutes shy. I think we did have one that actually went a little past 4 hours. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, it's goodbye from me too, then. Best of health to you all, and
Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
your lives are good. See you
Yes,
next
thank
week.
you.
Salute.
All right.
See you
All
next
right.
week.
Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, actually.
2 weeks.
Yeah, be sure and sign up for, if you want, the postcard exchange. Just go to typepals.com and look at the events. So it'll be the one for the 20th. And we're going to exchange just one-on-one postcard exchanges. So, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, nice.
Yeah.
I have a couple postcards sent to me by someone that
I know.
I can use.
One of many things I sent to you.
Yep. I got a whole box of surprises. That was really neat. Thank you very much for that. That was.
You're welcome.
You're getting a box back. So.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
No, it's a challenge. You threw down the gauntlet. So.
Okay.
Send you something equally as interesting.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And thank you so much, everybody. It's been a blast as always.
you.
I love these meetings. And again, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
See
you then.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
All right, bye.
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 Bye.